Facebook, Dr. Chapa just walked out, and before he comes back in, I would like to say, if you would like to join us today at Luna's on 96 in League City, come eat Mexican food with us. We're going to be there about 12 o'clock. Come hang out. Kurt, are you excited for some Mexican food?
I'm really excited. So come and join us for lunch. We'll be there about like 12:30.
Yeah.
And we're super excited for today's show. Not only do we have Dr. Aaron Chapa, get your questions asked below. We also are speaking with the Recovery Chick and Gypsy Rue, which is a band.
I love music.
That is coming in. So we're super excited for everything that's happening today. And come join us at Luna's for lunch.
Yeah, we also have Dr. Ethan here in studio, who is sitting in Dr. Chapa's chair right now, but getting the stream going, making sure we're gonna have a strong show. Ethan rocking the KHEA radio shirt today.
Ethan,
looking awesome.
Ooh.
Looking awesome.
Ethan, say what's up.
What is up, Facebook family?
I wasn't saying like specifically say what's up,
Fine.
but you can start like it would be like, hey guys,
You need to be more specific, Kurt.
Sorry.
I should have just gone out and said like, "What's up to Miss Joanne?"
She'd have been nicer than Kurt, huh? So hopefully everyone's having a good day. We have Dr. Chapa in studio. We're going to be talking about healthy living, maybe even planning a little bit of what next year's going to look like. January's coming. We're trying to get through this holiday season in a nice and not fat fashion, but it's difficult. It's difficult.
How is it difficult?
Mother Ray's crunch rolls, they're to the left, they're to the right. We got all the sweets. We got all the holiday parties. We're getting invited and inviting ourselves to so many holiday events, just showing up unannounced. I mean,
like last night.
Exactly.
I got in trouble last night at Butler's
by
Amber. She said, hey, you can't be bugging the people after they take their picture at Santa to like your page on Facebook. I was like, oops.
Is that frowned upon?
Hey, we got at least like 16 or 20 likes before she shut it down. She's like, no, don't do this anymore.
Yeah. So thank you to those 16 or 20 people. Maybe you're watching right now. We appreciate you. And I'm sorry that Kurt wouldn't leave you alone and probably took your phone out of your hand.
I was just trying to do something positive in your life.
In my life? Why are you looking at me? Are you talking about to the people? Hey, what are you guys doing today? Let us know what you have going on. Dr. Chapa is getting set up. We're having an awesome time. We have about 26 seconds left in this song, and then there's a 40-second spot that's going to play after, and I think we're going to be ready to rock and roll on the FM. I'm excited about today. Let us know. Do you have anything going on in your body that you weren't born with? Do you have anything that Dr. Chapa may be able to answer for you today? Let us know. I'm excited. So today is another beautiful December day. Today is December 4th. Right now it's 8:43 a.m. and this is going to be a good show. I'm switching it up today. So you have an Escape Kima koozie. I got my Texas Chronicles koozie, but I'm using a Monster juice instead of Bang because someone had mentioned like, hey, maybe it's good to switch it up. Maybe not do the creatine. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that.
It's really hard to do these headphones with
10
this
seconds.
hat on. Auto off.
Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
And we have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio hanging out with us today. What's up, Dr. Chapa?
What's going down, guys? I'm so glad to be tuned in with you.
Yeah.
As usual, y'all are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, both of you this morning.
Always. We're never down. We never have a down day.
Kurt has on a Santa Claus hat
that.
today. You know, last time you wore that Santa Claus hat, I think you were in as well. And I don't know, is that something like you're going to wear this hat whenever Dr. Chapa's in only?
I want Dr. Chapa to just call me Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
We got supplements already? That looks like the gummies, like the Flintstone
This
vitamins.
is probably as close to... So normally I bring y'all things to torture you guys, but today I decided to, it's the holidays, the sweet treats.
Look,
These are the kids... This is the kids line.
Ethan was already holding his chest like, I don't know if my body can take it. So what is this that we're holding? It says Springboard Supplements for Growing Bodies. We are growing.
Yep. Well, this is actually for children. So this would be the kids line of stuff. We call it the Springboard, but you can just open it. It's already open.
Oh, okay.
And they taste I mean, they're going to make you think like you're a flashback to the Flintstones world.
I'm a
But,
Flintstone kid, getting stronger. How many do you take? One?
yeah, 1, 2. They're like little sweethearts. They're good.
And they look.
But what's awesome is, what's awesome is that not all kids have developed that bitter palate, and so providing a option for the youth is always a good place to start. We've got to make sure that the quality of the nutrients there, the potency's there, and we want to make sure that they have growing tools as well to move forward in their growing development.
You worried me whenever you said bitter palate. As soon as I put it in my mouth, and I was like, "Wait, is this like a tool to help the kid develop that bitter palate?" And I was like, "Oh no, it tastes like a sweet tart."
No, it does. It tastes just like a sweet tart. And so, what's really, I had a mom come in yesterday, and her kid was having cold-like symptoms and body aches but no fever, and it was strictly. She hadn't had enough. The baby hasn't had enough minerals yet. I mean, and so it's a matter of just recognizing that we are all developing, but children are developing so rapidly that they have a higher mineral need. Their metabolism is more robust, and they rightfully so. I mean, their bones are elongating. And that's why they grow out of their shoes every 6 months.
Yeah, they need more to put in because they're constantly growing.
And when that is there, I don't think people have actually talked to parents about if you have a child that has chronic cramps in their calves or cramps or aches in their feet, where they feel like their bones hurt. I mean, they'll say things like this.
Yeah.
Or if it's a baby, they're teething or drooling. And when they're doing that, we want to supply minerals. And so we use a stuff called coral and coral legend or calcium lactate, which are plant-derived calcium products. You can rub it right on a kid's gums, and it's like giving resources right to the site where the need is, and the body will stop robbing other tissues that are creating that symptom of achiness or uncomfortability or earaches even, or fever if there is such. And it could all be strictly because the body is robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's robbing one system in the body of its calcium reserves and trying to get it to a place where surgery is coming in for a teething kid or for an elongation of a bone. I mean, think about that. Our bones get longer. I mean, you know what I mean? There's constantly a remodeling that's happening inside our tissues at every second and every day. And that's why it's so good that we're getting good rest. And so if you're not, sleeping well at night, that's an indication you're not releasing, growth hormone and getting your body the tools that it needs to repair and regenerate from the previous day.
Awesome. We got Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. If you're watching right now, please feel free to share this video out. Post it on your Facebook friends list. I promise you there's somebody on there who needs to hear what we're talking about today, and they could probably benefit from the information being shared. It is Tuesday. Mark mentioned that it is Taco Tuesday, but not maybe today, but not right now.
We're not going to Luna's for lunch at all.
No,
we would never do that to Dr. Chapa. We love Dr. Chapa. We would never hurt his feelings by going to Luna's.
I don't think that would hurt
Taco Tuesday.
The best thing about Dr. Chapa is that he is not somebody who is going to, get mad at you or force you to do something, because you have to be willing to do it yourself right now, or else it's not going to work.
That's right. And I think what happens when I walk away, you're just going to do it anyway.
Yeah, and it gets to a point where you have to make that decision for yourself. If you're having these things, like, what changes do I need to see?
Yeah,
and then
and I think that we all get sick and tired of being sick and tired at some point in everybody's journey that I've observed. They come around to the idea that it's not me twisting their arm anymore. It's me sharing enough education that they start seeing it for themselves. And that's why we start out having you understand that what you can name, if you can name a thing, you can control a thing. If you can track a thing, we'll have you do food logging, and we'll start looking and looking at what it is that you're putting in your body. And somebody last week asked, if we build custom meal plans, eat this and stuff like that. And we can, but most of the time what we found is we rather take your habits and your lifestyle and build something that works for you. And it is a fun experience for us to try to create that, because we're building a custom, desired program that your body will enjoy and go through the process of falling in love with being well, living well.
You know, we were talking about that this morning. Gardy asked a question while we were off camera. We're getting geared up for a detox cleanse in January on January 8th, right?
Yes, sir.
And what's funny is we were playing some stuff from last Christmas, and we were talking about a program that we started on January 8th last year. So it's going to be really kind of cool to start something new this year on January 8th. But you said we could custom design that 21-day detox to help you get the best detox that you possibly can have.
That's right. So, we obviously have a program that we've designed. I have a 7-day, 10-day, 14-day, 21-day, and a 28-day detox experience. And the one that we're going to be working with in the new year is going to be the 21-day ultimate detox program. And here's the thing. No matter where you're at in the process, a little bit of detox is going to be more powerful than you realize. And if you're not detoxing in the 21st century, you're missing a huge healthcare piece. When we were up in North Carolina at the research and development facility for Standard Process, one of the people that we get supplements from, more than 90% of the crops that they are grown right there in Palmyra, Wisconsin, that go into the products that we're using. And so what that means is we're getting, clean earth products. I mean, it's right out of the ground. When you look on the label, you'll see ingredients that you're familiar with, Brussels sprouts and kale and carrots and things of that nature. And everybody that comes in to go through a detox, program, some people are on a lot of medications. We have to slow their program down. Mm-hmm. Some people are heavy into a workout regimen and they need extra protein. Some people are, diabetic and they need an extreme, restrictive, process. So we're going to build and tailor that to make sure that you getting the best result through your 21-day ultimate detox experience is available to you.
Is there anybody out there that would not be a good candidate for this?
No. So with the amount of bioaccumulation, that's what I was kind of getting to, and I missed the point on my own side was, in North Carolina, I've promoted for years that if we're not detoxing twice a year, everybody detoxing twice a year, we're missing it. And so what I came away with out there with all the research that they've accumulated, we are needing to really be detoxing every quarter. We need to be changing our oil, so to speak, changing the fluids. And that is going to absolutely set the stage for anybody with any health symptom or health complaint to start moving forward in a way that they may not have been able to before. Mm-hmm. And so I want people to realize that, hey, it's only 21 days. And depending on what you do, if you at least do it once a year. I've been promoting for years 42 days out of the year. And the reason for that, and the reason we're willing to tailor it, is because we know that if we can clean out and wring out that liver of some of its toxic trash, we can get those fat cells to dump excess debris that you don't need. Mm-hmm. If we can get that, the brain to release, things that is stuck in there, guess what? You're going to function better. You're going to think better. You're going to be more creative. You're going to be more, quick on your feet. You're going to be more energetic to run around and play with your kids and make memories. You're going to be, always one step ahead of the disease process that's trying to get us down.
Right now it's 8:53 and we have some people chiming in. I see Susie. Susie Foster said, I was not good at the cleanses. And Susie, can you let us know what part of the cleanse is the issue? And because what we're learning right now with Dr. Chapa is that some of these things can be, adjusted. And if you going in hey, I've struggled with this and this in the past, then maybe that's something that can be adjusted and you can come on this journey in January and have a custom cleanse. So
I think that's a great idea. By the way, y'all didn't even ask how my gallbladder flush went.
How did that go? It was 4 days of only eating
apples, pears, and applesauce.
Let me see the eyes. Ooh, they're definitely bluer today because that's what happens when you do the gallbladder.
Right. So this was my 19th one, so it was pretty exciting. Friday, I had a great day. I made a cool video with my drink cocktail. I was going to see if I could get Curt over there to take a look at it for me.
Yeah.
And
wait, take a look at the gallbladder
stones?
No. Or
no, believe it or not, I only passed maybe 5 to 10 stones, and they were really small, and they weren't even it wasn't exciting, and which is
it's good, right?
Which is great.
Yeah.
That's what you want, because So one lady, when I was up in North Carolina, she was like, well, if you passed all those stones, like you have to ask, why are you forming all those stones? I'm like, well, I can tell you why I formed all those stones. The diet that I had as a kid, formed those stones, and they just got stuck and lodged inside my gallbladder. And it took, many, many rounds to get them all out. So it was pretty exciting. And I felt amazing all day. It always amazes me to see what the body is capable of. So
there's a
awesome.
question Lisa has, if you want to read it, because I don't know how to pronounce that one. She said, as a detox, what do you think of using diatomaceous earth?
Oh,
is that right?
Yeah, diatomaceous earth. Okay, so I look at diatomaceous earth, and it's a binder. It's going to be in the same realm as your bentonite clay, and it's going to draw toxins out of the body. So I absolutely think that you can use diatomaceous earth. You can use bind any other binders and clays, especially if you're doing like a metal detox or if you're doing some sort of specific purge. And I use a intestinal cleanse product that's got bentonite clay in it that will suck 10,000 times its weight. And diatomaceous earth kind of does that same idea. It creates like a vortex. It sucks things towards it and acts like an adsorbent, and not an absorbent like a paper towel, more like it draws things unto itself so that your body can eliminate it more effectively. But I still kind of might say that it's on the cleanse side of things because it's not driving phase 1 and phase 2 detox in the cell tissue. So, and what that basically means is when I talk complex like phase 1, phase 2 detox, look at it as simple as this. Your body is storing toxins in 3 main places: the brain, the fat cells, the joints. So that's why people have joint pain or arthritis, or what I like to call arthrongus, because there's nothing rightus about it. Would everybody agree?
Oh yeah, definitely.
See, Ethan loved it. He caught it. We think he's sleeping over there. He's got it.
Ethan was like, that was my line.
He is laughing. I don't think I've ever got him to chuckle. And then your body's also storing toxins in your brain. And
I think, does that cause the brain fog, and you walk in, you don't know, like, why am I in here? What happened?
Where's the keys?
Right.
Where's my wallet, honey? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big issue. And then the body stores toxins in fat cells, and the fat cell can swell up 7 times the size of normal. So I really don't think that people are fat. I think people are toxic, and those fat cells have just swelled up. Why are they swelled up? They're trying to protect you. Your body is storing those volatile, toxic burdens into a safe haven that doesn't hurt your vital organs. It doesn't hurt your brain, doesn't hurt your heart, doesn't hurt your core system.
Mm-hmm.
And so your body's got these built-in protective places. And so we want to convert those fat soluble toxins into something water soluble that you can poop out, sweat out, breathe out, and get out, And so that's what detox is all about. So good question,
Cool.
Lisa.
Cool. So it's 8:58. We got a couple minutes left of this hour. We have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. You mentioned something about arthritis, and I think as people get older, they understand that, hey, my body's changing, and maybe I need to change my diet to so I don't predict the weather. Because sometimes, like, hey, whenever there's a shift in the cold, or sometimes Curt has that with the allergies. Whenever he's like, there's something coming in the air, And I have found now that something in my hand, but I think it kind of I jammed it really bad, my thumb, playing basketball last year. And ever since then, like, whenever the weather shifts and changes,
You feel it.
yeah, I feel it. So it's the weirdest thing. And my other thumb is perfectly fine, but this one is just like, it's messed up. But yeah.
Oh,
We got some more, huh?
And so even at our youth, we can create issues in our body early on. You might still have some joint inflammation that may be toxic related, and maybe the fact that you just jammed it and that tissue's not had a chance to heal.
Yeah.
And Kay, I want to say hi to you and Chip. God bless you all this morning, and thank you for that warm morning photo. She said, my husband and I are patients, and we've done the liver flush and the cleanses since 2013.
I could do those every day.
And by the way, that right there is a kid's version of allergy support. And
Nice.
So she says they're going to be joining us for another cleanse in the new year. So bring it on, sister. I'm so excited.
So that starts
why did I get
January 8th.
Allerplex over this?
Well, because again, I'm just showing you all some of the kids stuff that we offer. So
What's the difference? I would rather have this than Allerplex.
Because Allerplex does other things. That's one pathway. Remember, when we're dealing with allergies, great question there, Curt. when we're dealing with allergies, there's multiple components. And so that's going to focus more on the histaminic side of things. What the Allerplex is going to do is it's going to clean up and enhance function in the liver. And most people's allergy situations are the fact that their body is dumping trash out of the eyes, the nose, down the back of the throat, their ears, their scalp. And the Allerplex will help open up and dry up the tissues. And so it actually supports more of your body's pathways to get rid of and reduce allergies
The
effects on us.
Allerplex does not like the kids version. It's like, get
I
off
was-
me.
it's a
But I
lot
will
better.
tell you that tastes amazing.
Oh yeah, no, I could eat that every
You
day.
can eat that like candy.
Kurt, why are you wearing your headphones that way?
So
It
that
looks
I can
good.
Listen.
Oh,
It's
just
hard-
wondering, because sometimes you're like, you whisper and sometimes you'll get loud, and then it's just like, you got me over here like going coconut.
See, I got Ethan over here who's not on headphones, and so I got to be able to
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to it. Ethan has a question.
Let us know, Ethan. But hey, this was good. I like these kids supplements, and that works for them and for me too, because it's really good.
Oh man. Well, so yeah. So how was y'all's week last week? What did y'all eat well, be well, and stay well, or did y'all get into some mischief?
So we have been eating some meals from Naked Nutrition. You know, you met our friends
Right.
over there. They've been making some awesome meals for us, and it's delicious. So we've been, peppering those in with our other things that we are committed to as
Yeah,
well.
we've only been to the Texas Pit Stop Barbecue
Two
only
times.
two times
Last
in the
week.
last week.
Hey, I'm down for barbecue.
Yeah, so are we, man. Woo.
As a matter of fact, my friend here that just chimed in, their son, his name's Trey, and he can cook up a mean brisket on a green egg.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Those are nice. The green eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. Chapa, do you barbecue? Do you smoke any meat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, so here's the deal, right? There are nitrates and nitrites that get pushed into the meat. I have patients that cannot tolerate any, smoking of any type of food because of the chemicals that the smoke puts into the food. It messes with them.
Would the wood be better than the charcoal?
Yeah, but still,
It just
but
depends.
sometimes the smoke is smoke. It's and it's more than the some people's body can tolerate. Again, I think this comes down to chemical toxicity, and you're at your threshold, and so you're not able to handle that extra chemical. So you've got that. Just a sign to me that there is toxins in the body that if we can get that burden down. I mean, I've had people come in with garlic allergies or onion allergies.
Mm-hmm.
I do several rounds of liver cleansing with them, and that's everything from beets to Brussels sprouts, taking them off of their food allergies, teaching them how to drink more water. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things I thought about when I left off the show last week is, it might be, old hat. It might be a broken record. Maybe you think that you're drinking enough water, but I want to emphasize, because every day that I'm in practice, people come in and they're dehydrated. They're not drinking enough water. And so, I want to tell people, like, I woke up this morning, I had 40 ounces of water first thing within 10 minutes of being awake,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a comment here I'm going to read. First of all, I'll say, good morning, Holly. Thanks for hanging out with us. And she was also saying good morning to Dr. Chapa. She said, Dr. Chapa has been helping me get my voice back, and it's getting stronger. I've had laryngitis for 4.5 weeks. And so that's something that I had been messing with a little bit. I don't know, not necessarily laryngitis, I don't know, but I have not had my voice like 100% since I came back from South Carolina. I thought it was allergies, but I think I straight up had a cold, and then my voice, like, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
We talk a lot, and then we leave and we go talk some more. And so I've been trying to get my voice back to 100%. Do you think would it be a cold? I had something else, you think?
Well, it probably was a cold. And if you think about it, if the vocal cords have any extra mucus on it, if you think about it, when you, like, even this morning, as we're starting to warm up our voices and talk on the radio,
Yes.
I can feel stuff breaking up in my, throat as well. And I'm like, oh, I thought I got,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was there. And so what that tells us is that the weather's, playing a part in that. All of our bodies are adjusting to this stuff. There's a croupy cough going around League City right now. And it's nasty. And it's hitting kids and hitting adults. And so if you look at the way that the vocal cords work, and you see all of that mucus that's building up on those tissues, it's very hard for them to vibrate and resonate like they're supposed to. And so that will create, as we strain through that, or we push ourselves through maybe singing events or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or in y'all's case, y'all talk all day, every day.
And I've been singing and doing music at church because I was like, you know what? I feel like I can talk. I can do this. If I'm gonna like try and hit somewhere around the note, hey, I that's the least I can do. You're
That's
like
right.
during church service, like, you know,
Like God's gonna
sacrifice.
He's
You know,
gonna
it's the least
honor.
I can
He's gonna,
do. Yeah.
That's right. He's gonna honor your praise, right? He said, "You cry out and worship, or the rocks will." So
yeah, exactly.
don't want that to happen. We're gonna make sure we sing our voices, and so yeah. What I do in those cases is I reach for Congoplex and Thymex, things that can eat up that mucus in in my head or in my throat, and make sure my lymphatics are clear. Spanish black radish, fenugreek, and things that can help mobilize trash in the body. Anytime there's stagnation, you will start having symptoms of difficulty, speaking, or even difficulty breathing, for that matter. Or dealing with some kind of symptom pattern in your head, whether it's allergy eyes, itchy watery eyes, or things going on in your inner ears.
I think we have a question. Ethan, do you want to ask that question that Monica has?
Do you do allergy testing?
So from a perspective of like the little pinpricks on your back, we do not, but we definitely we do several layers of allergy work with reflex work in the body, looking at your most common foods that people are dealing with, which would be wheat, dairy, corn, and soy, even more advanced chocolate, peanuts, red meat, and tomatoes. These are the top 8 most common food allergens. They seem to be the most inflammatory. If you have one, then guess what? You're going to have symptoms of other things. When people come in and they have cucumber allergies, for example, we know that they have something else.
Yeah, that's crazy. A cucumber allergy.
Yeah, and again, you just nailed it. That's crazy. That doesn't make sense. It's not even in the top 50. And so one of the things that we want to look at is the big rocks first. Stephen Covey was a big proponent of that, and his books of leadership is put the big rocks in first. So we want to take the big rocks out first. And so when things in our body that can create inflammation or drive mucus production, we want to remove those. So one of the simplest, Monica, the best allergy test that you can do, it's the most labor intensive. It's definitely the hardest one, but it is definitely the most accurate, and it's the most revealing. And it is the elimination. So you would take, like, if you suspect, or you want to give some of this stuff that I'm referencing a try, and then you see milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein. You take all of these out of your diet for 2 weeks, okay? And then you see how things go, whatever symptom you're dealing with. But you got to note it, okay? So you got to name a thing so you can control a thing. That's what we're trying to do. And then so then you suddenly put it back in. So like in 2 weeks, go have a dairy day. Have some ice cream, have some a pizza, do something, to aggravate it of a suspecting cause. And then within hours to 3 days, you'll get a response. And that response will be some symptom that you had before.
So I have to go 2 days without doing cheese and dairy?
Weeks.
2 weeks. And Monica said, my son has all those, plus chicken allergy.
Yeah. So, and chicken's number 9. Actually, I'm sorry, chicken's 10, pork's 9. And if you look at these foods, most of them are all the proteins. And most people that buy chocolate are buying what kind of chocolate?
I'm going to say milk chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. So it's in the family of the dairy family. And I haven't found a whole lot of people that are, blatantly sensitive to cacao, right? Like, raw cocoa and things like that. And so if your son is definitely struggling with those, start with the big ones: milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein, and take all those out like his life depends on it. And what we found is if the whole family rallies around your son, and that means so you, your husband, your siblings, and everybody's rallying around, everybody's going to learn something. And it's not going to hurt the family to do stuff like this. I mean, that's what family's for, right? We should be all supporting one another and recognizing, what if somebody consuming an allergen, whether it's gluten, whether it's wheat, or whether it's dairy, whether it's corn or soy, what if it was sabotaging the development of their brain, the development of the body, and it shortchanged their ability to maximize their growth potential, or to shortchange their advancement in school or in life of creativity, because they had this constant dietary burden, something so simple, something right in front of us. And I see it, guys, every day. And it blows my mind. People come in and it's something as simple as dairy.
So here, I have a allergy question. When you do things like caffeine and stuff like that, can it enhance how bad that allergy reaction is? Because I've noticed that sometimes when I'm having an allergic reaction, that I will have issues with my allergies increasing.
Yeah. So if you look at, think of it this way. Let's say that you have every day, nobody's ever at zero from a stress perspective. We all have some kind of stress in our lives, right? I mean, even at the very
he's my stress sometimes.
Right.
Stress man. I would be sitting at zero.
Like,
I would, but then Kurt's like,
then Kurt's presence.
Take this. And I'm like,
presence is stressful.
I've told Gardy before, like I'm shaving years off his life.
Oh man,
probably
for the better.
I mean,
for the better.
He might get some sort of ruby or something in heaven for putting up with you, right?
Well, it better be a couple rubies. Yeah.
So, but we all have some kind of stress. I mean, even if it's as simple as gravity, right?
Right.
And so, but what if like there's a threshold for symptoms, whether that symptom is blood pressure issue? What if that's a migraine? What if that's an allergy like you're talking about, Curt? And then let's say that's say at 20. But every day you wake up, you're at an 18 because of all the inflammatory burdens you're carrying from your diet. What if we pull out? And so now, so hold that thought a second, and then the weather changes, and that puts you at 22. Now you got symptoms, or you eat, you drink caffeine that has some sort of extra sugar or chemical or dye or preservative that's throwing you over that threshold, and you have symptoms. Well, what if we could take out a bulk piece of the inflammatory chain? What if in this case, I'm talking about picking on dairy again this morning. I like to do that, or gluten. I have another buddy his is gluten. And what if we pull that out and it drops your burden down to like a 8? Well, now when the weather changes and bumps you up 4 points, you're at a 14 or a 12 rather, and 20 is where the symptoms come in, right? So what we're talking about is thresholds of allergy reactions in the body. Mm-hmm. So those just tuning in, if you just kind of came in this conversation, we're talking about like when you have food allergies, they can drive your environmental allergies. And then when you put other things in that are either caffeine driven, or which most of the time, what if it's just black coffee? So you're going to pull I only drink black coffee. Well, what if it's a cheap, poor quality coffee that's got a lot of mycotoxins in it? Well, now you just gave yourself a biological burden shot of junk, and that pushes you up to that threshold again, and now you have symptoms. So, I mean, there's so many, like when you think about it, it almost sounds confusing, and it's like, oh man, where do we start? But it goes back to what we're doing in our office right now. This past weekend, Jennifer and I, one of my other clinical nutritionists, she and I were working on a document for patients for wheat alternatives. Or if you're going to buy wheat, products, make sure it says whole wheat on the label, not enriched flour or thiamine mononitrate or, some of these other fake, substances that are in the food supply. And so we're trying to show people what to do as a better alternative that's less burdening to the body. Because if we can decrease the biological burden from our diet, we can handle the environment. We can handle, what used to cause us to have those unwanted elements that we weren't genetically born with.
Right now it's 9:13. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, please feel free to ask any questions. If you have anything that you weren't genetically born with, there may be an answer presented here today. All you have to do is ask the question and probably get some more questions asked to you to get some understanding of what you're going through, what your family member's going through. Please feel free to share this video out. Hit the share button so hard that your screen cracks. Hopefully you have a screen protector on there. But just hit it. Thank you for starting your morning with us. This is KHEA Radio. Kurt's screen is cracked, yes, because he was hitting that share button so hard.
It's the Terminator edition of the iPhone 10.
Yeah, it's very nice. So let us know, what do you have going on today? Let us know. We have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. Dr. Chapa, if somebody was trying to get a hold of you, find your website, reach out on social media, how would they go about doing that?
So my name is Dr. Aaron Chapa, and we own Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center is in League City, Texas. Our phone number is 281-554-8600. And you can visit us at our website at justlivewell.com. And our whole mission is to get sick people well. We want to give people alternatives to drugs and surgery. We believe that all life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition is the fundamental backbone that allows your body to spiral out of control or to get traction and start getting healthy and strong again. And so no matter what symptom pattern that you are dealing with, whether it's a headache, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's digestive issues, you have chronic reflux or indigestion, or you have hormone glitches and issues, you can't sleep at night, your kid's dealing with ADD, ADHD, whatever it is, these are just check engine lights that something isn't right in the body. And so we want to encourage everybody to, again, share this video, because this message that, for a long time, I didn't know exactly how it would be received, because some of what I'm doing in the office is clinical work. I have to go, and trust seminars for good research and information, because my research is in the trenches with you guys, dealing with the 102 fever, dealing with the 104 fever, dealing with the kid, the earache, dealing with the sore throat and the crud, and helping you with the belly pain and how to travel and how to figure out what to eat when you travel. And so, I'm doing this work every day live with people, and it never ceases to amaze me that the body wants to heal, no matter what people have brought in. I've got stories of 95-year-old people with Alzheimer's coming in, and they had the best 2.5 years of their life as a patient in the office before they passed on. And one of my mentors said it so beautiful. He says, "Aaron, you helped empower that man's departure." And it was more than that. It was even it blessed the family. The family had memories of their father, their grandfather, their great grandfather, at family reunions, as a man that was still sharing stories where, for the 10 years prior, when he was diagnosed with this terrible condition, he suffered greatly. And so, it doesn't matter where you're at and what you're dealing with, your body wants to heal. So give us a call, 281-554-8600, or visit us at our website, justlivewell.com. We got some great health surveys up there that can help you out.
Awesome. So I just saw a question pop up, and then I also see Curt Googling what is IBS straight up, because he didn't know. So somebody asked a question, what about IBS? Can that be an allergic reaction? First of all, I have to say, I'm shocked that Curt did not know, as a 30-year-old man, what IBS is. It's irritable bowel syndrome.
That's good.
I don't just walk around telling people about IBS, I guess.
Well,
but just don't Google search images of IBS.
Yeah.
So
I cannot look away.
But this is a good question. So I can say that 80% of all of your blood, sweat, and tears, your effort, your money, should go towards taking care of your digestive tract. And the reason for that is the 80% of all disease starts in the gut. So irritable bowel syndrome is a huge problem, and it can come from just we eat the wrong food. We overeat food. I mean, the digestion is a very stressful event biologically speaking, and so we in America have a tendency to overeat, don't we? I mean, I
would say yes, maybe so.
Super.
I was at Kelly's Country Cooking last night.
Kelly's is notorious for big old food, dishes and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And so just from not even ingredients, guys, I mean, just from a consumption level alone, we overindulge, right? And so that is stressful in and of itself on our digestive tract. That can create irritation and agitation. But then it goes back to what I've said in the past. What you eat's important, but what you don't eat is
more important.
That's right. Come on, Curt, where are you at?
More important.
That's right, more important. And so when we're looking at irritable bowel, I have practically built an entire clinic around digestion. Every condition that comes in always has a digestive component. And so and every time I look at this, I start realizing, wow, when I ask these questions, and when you have irritable bowel, it notoriously is food allergy: wheat, dairy, corn, soy, and typically dairy. And a lot of times wheat, and I had a patient just this past week, got her on a detox. She was doing great. And then put her on a product that had, wheat germ in it. Wheat germ does have gluten in it. and it blew her gut up. And I was like, I made a mistake, and that happens. That's but the worst thing it is you have diarrhea, that day, and then we catch it and we fix it, and so this is an amazing experience when food can give you a response like that. It doesn't take a whole lot of arm twisting to get somebody to stop it. I had this gal come in and she had 18 bowel movements a day, and
Wow.
she had spent, according to her, $20,000 in testing trying to find the solution, and she could never find it. And whenever she came in, I listened to the story, and I'm like, okay, this sounds like, I'm going to do an experiment. And so I took her off of her food allergy. In this case, it was dairy. And then we put her on some products to help heal the gut, seal the gut, and support the different little proteins and bonds down in the gut so that it wasn't leaky. And within 30 days, she had her first solid bowel movement. And she had suffered for 5 or 6 years, slipped through the medical cracks, so to speak. And so never underestimate your digestive tract. If you have been, let's say that you've been through the ringer, you've tried everything, you've been to every doctor in town, and you still don't have the results that you were hoping for or wanting to get. Consider coming in. Let us help you, because that's where we're going to look at and evaluate your digestive tract. Look and evaluate the health and integrity of that digestive lining. They say that thing is has the square footage of a tennis court. Whether it's true or not, the square footage is quite large, and because of all the villi and microvilli present down there, they create waves of surface area for massive absorption. But if there's things stuck down in the crevices of the digestive tract, it creates inflammation. It percolates and ferments trash and waste and debris. And then most of the time, people come in, they might be having a bowel movement every day, but what they're really having is they're pooping out a meal that they ate 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. They got 10 to 15 meals caked up inside of them, and that is a burden in and of itself of stress biologically that they're having to carry with them day in and day out. So again, irritable bowel is absolutely driven by irritation. The irritation is driven by the food, and so great, that you're starting to catch that is that look at the foods. Start with those top 4. That's wheat, dairy, corn, and soy.
That was a great question, and I'm glad Curt now knows what IBS is. So hopefully you remember that in the future.
I'll never Google search that ever again in my life.
Yeah, don't Google search it.
You should put that as one of your profile on Tinder.
Never search for IBS.
Yeah. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to let us know. And here's one more question that's kind of related. Somebody asked, and then we have another one Candace has asked as well. Wendy asked, how many bowel movements should you ideally have a day? Yeah.
Excellent question. You should have your bulk of your bowel movements first thing in the morning. You should have a bowel movement, but your large intestine meridian is most active between 5 and 7 a.m. So you should have a bowel movement between 5 and 7 a.m. Now you might say, I don't wake up till 10. Well, then you need to have a bowel movement within 10 minutes of waking up. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, look at it this way. Your liver's most active between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. So the detox factory is most active during the night. And so when the morning, you want to get rid of all that excess waste and debris.
Right.
If you don't, then it's like carrying around extra cinder blocks of burden throughout the day.
Just waste. It's pure waste,
it's
literally.
Pure waste, yeah, and it's stuck. And so if you're not having a bowel movement first thing in the morning, there's something, your bowels are already slow. But I would say you should have about 2 to 3 bowel movements a day.
Ethan put the poop emoji, but he did on our Facebook stream, but he didn't put like Ethan. Usually like he has to do like Ethan. And then,
I think I maybe told him to put the poop emoji so that he would get in trouble and not me. But I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. So we have another question that Candace has, and please keep these questions coming. We are talking to Dr. Aaron Chapa. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. We're streaming live on YouTube. Feel free to follow us on there, KHEA Radio, and on Facebook. Candace says, what's your theory on the cause for Hodgkin's lymphoma? I was treated with chemo and radiation in 2017. The doctors can't or won't tell me the cause. I can't seem to recover from this. I'm still so fatigued from treatment.
Yeah. So, I mean, any type of cancer present in the body is a long term of stagnation somewhere or up the chain. So that's the lymph nodes in this case. If I had the ability to reach inside of you and pull your lymphatics out, pop them on the, like a rug. If I was, cleaning, dusting a rug, and I put them back in you, you would instantly, within 5 minutes, feel amazing again. Your lymphatics are super powerful. And so in your case, it was stagnation. It's either your bowels are slow or stopped altogether. And maybe maybe you are one of these lucky people that were having a bowel movement, but you were, 5, 6, 7 meals behind on getting the stuff out. And it was time accumulation that allowed that symptom to check in and take root and turn into a more advanced disease process.
Wow.
It never started as Hodgkin's lymphoma. It started as check engine light symptom patterns you weren't genetically born with that people missed. You were going in for some other, I'd love to hear the story. And this is the kind of thing. When a person like you asks a question like that, it's really tough for me to know what the cause is today because I don't know your story. When you come into our office and we do a timeline history, we're going to learn what was going on in your life before the diagnoses. And see, most people that have any type of cancers don't die of the cancer. They die of, I hate to say, the chemo and radiation. It's so hard on the body, and it just tears the body to shreds. And a lot of times the body cannot bounce back from that.
Yeah, what's your website? Because you have some questionnaires on there, and that might be something to get that history, right?
That's absolutely. So justlivewell.com. We've got some great questionnaires up there that you can go and check out or download our new patient paperwork. We've got some questionnaires in there as well that will help just give us history about where you're coming from. So, but always symptoms are driven by slow stagnation in the body, whether it's in the bowel, whether it's in the liver, whether it backs up into the lymph, whether it's backing up into the kidneys or backing up into the sinus or backing up, where it's now pouring out of these secondary exit channels like your ears, eyes, nose, throat, your skin, your lungs. And your body's not dumb. It knows how to mobilize the waste, and what waste it can't mobilize out of your body through these secondary exit channels like your ears, eyes, nose, throat, your lungs, your skin, or urine, it's going to store it, and it stores it primarily in fat cells. And a lot of times they'll sit in the fat cells, or the brain, or the joints, and it will create inflammation. And that long-standing inflammation, there's a cost for us to store toxins. I mean, think about it. How many people own an extra storage facility for all their stuff, right?
A lot of people do.
That's in between 50, 75, 100, 125, 200, depending on how much big of a piece of extra garage you bought. Well, there's a cost for your body to store those toxins. You lose minerals. You burden the body with having to carry that excess around, and sometimes those things leak. I mean, they're not perfect, and when you have these little slow toxic leakage happening, it can create these types of cancers in the body.
Wow.
Big question, man. A really tough one to answer. Try to do the best I can with that, because it's like, I read a book one time and it was called Anything Can Cause Anything, and the guy made a point that no matter, he gave you the same symptom, but 25 different causes, and you're like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This one's interesting as well. I think this one might be a tough one, Dr. Chapa, but it's from Candace as well. She said, could I possibly have cured myself without chemo and radiation, or at a certain point, is it too late to cure yourself? So,
I mean, listen, just like I was telling you earlier, like no matter where you're at, there's always, your body wants to heal. It is designed by the Almighty Creator. I mean, He's the great physician, and there is absolutely, don't ever lose hope that you're doomed. Okay. But there is a price that was paid, and I call it the health cost of doing chemo and radiation. But again, I say that very gently, okay, because what's done is done. So now we've got to go fix what we can from here. And so, is it possible to cure yourself? Listen, sure. I've had patients that we've been very successful, and we did not use the chemo and radiation route, and we got the result we were after. But I also have patients that did a combination of both. And but it's more than what I hope that people don't grab from this, conversation, is that it's an easy road. I mean, it's a very challenging, to go through and rebuild the body when the body's been dealing with chemo and radiation, but it will respond. And so you just get started. What you start doing right this second, tracking a food log, how much water intake you're getting, enroll yourself in one of our programs where we can say, we pick a system. We work on your liver for a month. We work on your kidneys for a month. We do sequential immune upregulation where we drive your body to go cellularly look for infections, burdens, pathogens, parasites, viruses, and help the body immune system rebuild itself and be mindful. I mean, there was a friend of mine who his wife is a carrier of this particular gene that sabotages potentially the one of the chromosomes, and it always potentially, it's a 50-50 chance for it to hit the male child. And if they get it, they have no immune system. It's like every day is a new day. And they never develop the antibodies, the IgG, the IgE, all their immune system never develops. So what they had to do is they were a part of a study where they were the first ever like marrow transplant in utero to ever be done in the world. It was an amazing story. But it didn't work. So the baby comes out, they do what they do for 6 months. And then they had to do a bone marrow transplant. They had to do chemo for this little kid. And then his sister, did the bone marrow transplant to give him a new immune system, and it worked. And so sometimes there's a place. So, but I also want to be mindful that most of the time people don't die from, the cancer. They die from the treatment, unfortunately, because it's so deteriorating to the body.
So we're going to ask Lisa's question, and then we're going to switch up here. We'll get away from cancer for a little bit and then go back into like healthy eating and fat and reduction of fat. But I want to start here with Lisa. Lisa says, talking about cancer, what are your thoughts on Cesiac? I hope I say that right. For an herbal alternative, I have researched its amazing results. Do you know anything about that, Dr. Chapa?
I don't think I do.
Okay.
But
way to go, Curt.
Sorry, asking the tough questions
hey,
here.
this is good. This is great. I mean, but let me just Google it. What you got there, and
yeah, one thing there's a lot of things I love about Dr. Chapa, and I've mentioned this like in conversation. Not that we're talking about you behind your back, but we were talking about you behind your back.
My ears burn awfully a lot this week.
Yeah, and I love that you are always a student, always learning, always trying to better yourself, whether it's at seminars, whether you're reading a book, whether you're doing this. And sometimes, if we've asked you a question, you're like, I'm not familiar with that. You know what? I'm going to write that down. I'm going to research it. When I get back with you, I'm going to have at least some thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I've met people who claim to be an expert on everything. I'm sitting right here with one in a Santa hat right now. His name's Curt Casper. No, I'm just kidding. But there are people that are just like, oh yeah, I know that. But obviously, Dr. Chapa, I will say that you're a student, and you'll probably be a student forever. Always trying to better yourself and find out information, and that's awesome. That's a good quality to have.
I love learning, guys, and this world of health and wellness. I think too often we make it too hard, and really, I think somebody posted a nice post, a well-balanced, healthy way of eating, and that's what it always comes back down to. It does come down to food. Now, is there a too late? There always is a too late. I mean, we are in a degenerating earth suit,
Yeah.
and that's why the aging process happens. But at the same time, even at 80 and 90 years old, you can get a cut and it still heals. I mean, it's like even though it's degenerating and it will die, the body will die, it still heals. And it always comes down to the fuel sources that you have in abundance. And I think that's one of the things that I want people to recognize is that the goal in my office is an alternative to drugs and surgeries and prevention of disease. We want to get sick people well. And so no matter what a person's dealing with, and the cancer card is such a hard conversation for people because it's a fear button. Nobody wants to hear I got cancer, right? Or you got cancer. Nobody wants to go through that. And then once it happens, you don't really know what to do moving forward. And then when you talk to somebody like me and I give you all these alternatives and you're like, but this is MD Anderson. This is, the cancer capital of the world.
Right.
And people come here from all over for this. And I'm like, Yeah, that's true, but that doesn't always make it right.
What about, using both? Like,
And you can, and people have successfully bridged. I build programs for people on radiation. I build programs for people on chemo, because there's things that I have to see. My job is tricky because I have to understand what the oncology, program is doing, and I have to know how not to influence that program negatively in any way. But yet I can still absolutely support the body, because here's the thing. Do you know that there's fast food restaurants like all throughout MD Anderson that cancer patients are getting access to and food choices to? They're still feeding the patient terribly. And so that's where it really drives me crazy. If we're going to be, the greatest cancer treatment facility in the world, and we're going to put you on quote unquote these drugs and this, that, and the other to kill the cancer, but we're going to feed you junk to rebuild you, junk in, junk out, right? I mean, how can you expect a better result when you're doing what you've always done? They call that insanity.
yeah.
And so one of the things that is the hardest thing, I heard this guy say it the other day, the hardest thing will ever influence anybody to do in life is to follow Jesus Christ. It's because to truly follow him. The second hardest thing is to get people to change their diet. And because there's a thing about food. There's we're in the crux of it right now, where we are y'all mentioned it, parties and Christmas and family coming together. And what do? We celebrate. And when you celebrate, there's always a celebration with the righteous calf, or whatever the good cut of meat is that you choose to do in your family, the stuffing, the pies, and whatever it is that's in the delicacy of your traditions. And so changing that diet is you got to have a pretty strong frontal lobe, a strong willpower to push on. And people say to me all the time, man, I don't know if I have that willpower, but I had a guy yesterday, I was so proud of him. He started the 21-day detox last month, and he only made it 8 days. But he goes, I learned so much in that 8 days. And I said, well, great. So why don't you do another 8 days this month, right? And then next month, why don't you try for the full 21 again? I mean, you got the stuff, let's do it. And he goes, I noticed that I had more energy, I had more mental clarity. I noticed that, my sluggishness when I would climb, these chemical plant stairs. He goes, I had energy when I got to the top of the stairs. I didn't feel winded and tired. He goes, I couldn't believe it. And he goes, you think that was all from the diet? I said, well, what else was changed in your life up until that? He goes, nothing. It was just that. And I said, it was the diet and your body getting rid of chemicals that you were unnecessarily hanging on to so desperately for some reason.
I've seen a lot of people on here say they're going to contact you. They need to come in, and you just got to do it. You got to do it. You got to, make the call, do something to change today, put that into motion, because really, if you don't do it today, like, when are you going to do it?
When? And it's never convenient. I mean, holidays, it's never convenient. There's always a birthday party. There's always a reason not to. Here's the thing. What you do today will influence the next 5 to 10 years of your life. So you always want to be investing into your diet and lifestyle. We want to learn how to eat like queens and kings for breakfast, eat like, princes and princesses for lunch, and then, eat like peasants for dinner, like we got to learn.
I like that. That's a good analogy.
So I have a quick question, and we're getting more questions in, but, I was thinking this the other day. We just got a good text message. But Kurt, ask your question, and then maybe I'll go ahead and ask this one after you're done. Okay, so the other day I was driving down the road, and maybe it's just because I'm 30 now and I'm getting old. I have a girlfriend, and it's really tough, to think about, what's next steps and whatnot. And I started to think, hey, what if tomorrow, I didn't have that meal, or I didn't eat that thing, or I didn't go jump out of a plane, or I never went, to Paris or stuff like that. Do you ever wonder that? Like, man, I've never had this food, or I don't eat this food all the time. Have you ever thought that? Like
Almost like I want the experience of.
I want that experience,
So, but again, think about how you just described that. How often are you going to go to Paris?
How often are you going to Paris, Kurt?
I wish I could go every day.
Well, okay, you have to move you have to go. Hey, I said, but in general, what way you describe that is it's an experience. It's not that wouldn't be a lifestyle. So there's got to be a lifestyle as a foundation that allows you to go make memories and have experiences like that. And so I would absolutely, when I was in San Juan, Puerto Rico, I wanted to eat some San Juan food, you know, and I wanted to see what the culture of the food is like. I think you even mentioned to that, Gardy, that when y'all go to on y'all's trips, that you don't want to just eat at the chains, you want to eat at the culturally accepted, you know, places,
For
right?
sure. Yeah, definitely.
And so I'm all about the memory and the experience, but I'm also knowing that 70 to 95% of the other time of my life, it's a foundational rooted lifestyle of clean eating, avoiding the artificial foods, getting rid of the obvious junk foods, and trying to keep the ingredients clean that are coming into my home, so that I'm raising my next generation well. And so, great, question. So don't look at lifestyle changes as not having fun and making memories and enjoying the process. I don't think God intended for us not to enjoy our experience here and to learn, but he also gave us a brain and he expects us to use it. And so supersizing everything ain't the best thing for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have another question, Curt. Somebody texted in. Can you go ahead and ask
I
that?
don't feel comfortable reading this question.
What's wrong?
Where is it? I can probably read it.
Says, I have a question for Dr. C. With all the junk Curt eats, how many pounds of waste do you think he has backed up in his gut?
Whoever that is, I can't see it. I'm so thrilled that you called him on the carpet. That's beautiful. So yeah, he could have 10 to 15 meals caked up in there. There is absolutely.
Who this is.
Do you know that John Wayne, the infamous John Wayne, he died of colon cancer, right? At biopsy, he had 30 plus pounds of fecal matter caked up inside his system. 30 plus pounds. Yikes. Guys, this is a real issue. I mean, that we could have that much mess caked up inside of us. How could you possibly feel good when you got even 2 pounds extra of junk that you're hanging on to that you don't need to? And so, like, I remember early in my journey of doing these detoxes and stuff, I was so sensitive to starch, bread, cereals, tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
I was so sensitive to those things. I could eat a sandwich and I could see it on my middle at the end of the day. And I'd be like, ugh, I hate that,
Yeah.
And it was so aggravating, but that just means I had a blood sugar glitch. Means I had stuff caked up inside my system. And so that was a detoxing. And what detoxing has really taught me is it's how to have control and have no emotion to food. So I enjoy food when I want to enjoy food, and I don't need food when I don't need food.
You got to break that
Emotional addiction.
The addiction. Like, we get addicted to certain things. I saw something the other day that they said that their child, anytime that the TV was on, they thought they had to eat. They thought they had to eat. Was that we were talking about?
No, it wasn't. But we have triggers that drive us to our emotional habits. And so why do they think what's the famous, when you get stressed, you eat what kind of food?
You eat junk food
Or comfort food, right?
Yeah.
There's a word, there's a junk food, comfort food. There's some kind of pleasure that we get when we've had a stressful day, and we look to food to supply the need instead of look to food to supply the fuel.
Yeah. It's like almost a meme, or it's like, oh, I'm going through a breakup, I went through a hard time. Yeah, I'm going to curl up on the couch, watch TV, and eat ice cream, eat a whole gallon of ice cream. There's all those things. It's just like, hey, well, this is what I do. It's built into our culture. But that is true. Whenever we did our detox for 21 days, that did help us kind of break that habit of, hey, I'm going to eat this and this and this and this. And you're more eating, like, you have to put it in perspective. Food is fuel.
Food is fuel.
And that's its only purpose. We need to use it as a tool instead of using it as a crutch for our emotions, using it as a crutch for, just pleasure. It can be for pleasure, like you said.
Experience.
But yeah.
But not a lifestyle.
So when's the next detox start? How's that going down?
So January 7th is when we're launching this thing. We're going to be at Butler's Courtyard in League City, Texas, 6:30 p.m. And we are very excited because we've never been in a place where we're going to have so many people that are going to be in one building going through the tribe at the same time. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we want everybody there because we've learned that when you've got a group of people present, people want to be a part of everybody's experience, because there'll be people that won't have as great of experience as I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But again, detox. I mean, that shouldn't sound like a fun word, because we really shouldn't need detox, but we live in a culture that forces it upon us, and we've got to learn how to do it. And we want to be your coach. We want to guide you, direct you, and help you through all the pitfalls and challenges, because this needs to be an active part of your lifestyle. I recommend doing 2 detoxes on the 6-month marks and some mini detoxes at the quarters. And that way we're always working to change the oil and to help lubricate the body in a better way.
I will say it would be nice to meet other people going through the same detox that I am at the same time besides Curt. Because
That's right.
sometimes Curt isn't the strongest willpower when it comes to food and just life in general sometimes. And so for me, I'm like, Curt, come on, no, we got to do this. You got to do this. And you're just like, Gardy, please just let me drink this cheese, and I'm like, but it'd be nice if I had someone else that I could,
Rub
Partner
shoulders with.
yeah,
That's
just
right.
like give me a hug. That's all I want. And here's the other thing. Shout out to Butler's Courtyard, which we have been
you
going to, often. We love Amber, who
Yeah,
is
she's
running that. That's her
unbelievable.
family that owns that. They told Curt that if he met a girl and got married to her next year, that it could have it at Butler's Courtyard, and it would just be like on the house.
but I have to meet them at Butler's.
Oh, you have to meet them at Butler's Courtyard?
Needless to say, we've been at Butler's Courtyard pretty
Quite a
often.
bit.
He's like looking around, and I'm like, Curt, this is like
I was hoping last
this is
night.
a wedding, she's already married. And he's like, but what about the bridesmaid? I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think about that. I've been married for like almost 5 years now.
Well, I tell you, I mean, you need to start just camping out. You'd be like one of those.
We're going back on Thursday night. We're going back on Friday night, Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh
but it's
my
a great
gosh.
facility. We were there last night as well. He was like, Gardy, we got to go to Butler's Courtyard. There's a Santa event. I'm like, okay, fine. But yeah,
Hey.
shout out to them.
You gotta help the boy out.
And I guess we'll be
But
there in January for
What's
the
the
detox.
story? Like, I mean, but it sounds like you already got a girlfriend.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
What?
I mean, did you didn't hear that, Gardy?
This breaking news, hang on.
No, if you rewind and you go back just a bit.
This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 a.m. talking to Dr. Aaron Chapa right now this morning. And Curt has some breaking news in the house. Curt, please let the people know what's going on. Let the people know.
Yeah, girlfriend.
Wow. I mean, like, we're all like stunned over here.
Gardy's checking the
Speechless.
text messages.
I can't read it because I have the breaking news music. But Curt, do you have breaking news? I'm going to let you break this. This isn't my news to break.
I can't say who. I was told not to say.
Well, I
who.
didn't say who, but you have a girlfriend?
Sure, I have tons of girlfriends.
I'm not high-fiving that.
Man,
I'm not
that's
high-fiving
terrible.
your games, Curt. I'm not high-fiving.
We were hoodwinked, folks. We were hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Feel free to share this video out. This is Kickstart. We got Aaron Chapa, Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. What's up, Dr. Chapa?
Oh, so listen. So we got one more. Looks like another question popped over. Raising a little girl who is now 4. This is Candace. Since my health scare, I'm now concerned about her eating. How in the world do I go about cleaning up her diet? So it's really easy. You have most children. You have until 9 years old to develop the palate really well. So you start getting her to try and look at new foods. Now, they're still going to fight you. I mean, my kids still do this, right? They don't want to always eat the stuff. But last night, I wish I'd have brought a picture. I didn't take it with my camera. But my kids are eating Brussels sprouts and onions and green beans and roasted chicken with some butternut squash and a salad.
Sounds awesome, by the way.
I mean, it was so good. I walked in the house and I was so thankful. But they were eating. But how did that happen? It happened through consistency over time. You've got to develop and train these habits. Most kids' eating habits are in stone by 9 years old. So that means anybody that's over 9 that's got bad eating habits, you can't pull the card, oh, I'm doomed. You got to just say, I got to work hard to break my habits. And you can do it. And I mean, I'm a testament of it. I mean, I didn't start my health journey until I was 15. And so all my eating habits were set in stone, eating fast food and junk food, when I was a little kid.
When you were 15, were you doing like these experiments on your body already? You're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to see how long I can
I
do
was
this.
55 pounds overweight when I was 15. So I had to figure out a way, and I had a girl make fun of me and hurt my feelings, and I had to have a little pep talk with myself and say, all right, Chop, what are we going to do here? Are we going to
Wait, you were heavy?
I was 55 pounds overweight.
When was this?
When I was 15, when I was 15.
So
and this
what's
is where
55 pounds overweight for you?
I was so at that age, okay, when I went into my freshman year of high school, I had lost all that weight. I was 112 pounds. So
Wow.
add 55 pounds to that.
Wow.
And so I was a chunky monkey. I was, a big kid, and but I was fine with it. I was a good swimmer. I could swim like the best of them. I was, good at football, and played baseball or basketball. And I played all my sports, but I was just heavy.
Yeah.
But whenever that girl, said that three-lettered word to me and hurt my feelings, I had a little pep talk with myself. I said, never again is that going to happen. And so at that point, when
pictures.
I don't know if I have any of those pictures popped up. We'd have to go digging in the history books.
Man.
But the one of the things that I did, the first experiment I did, is I took out all soda. Oh yeah, you see one there with my curly locks. And
What is that?
look at those frosty tips, eh?
Kurt's like, that looks
Lance,
awesome.
that
Kurt
looks
wants to
awesome.
promote his tips now.
That's Lance Bass right there.
Oh, that's so funny.
2008 Dr. Choppa
Yes.
is a Dr. Chopper I want to know.
Yeah. So the first experiment I did is I took out all processed drinks. No lemonade, no juice at all. It was water only. No tea, nothing of sugar. It was absolutely. I was a wateraholic. That was all that I would consume, and then from there. We started changing. My dad had a mild heart attack, and so they were kind of changing their diet a little bit. So I jumped on that wagon, and we were living out of new cookbook that my mom and dad had purchased, and we were making new foods and experimenting with thises and that's. But the real experimenting started whenever I first started shadowing different clinicians out in the field before I went into chiropractic college. And I'd go in these places, and one guy was promoting veganism, one guy was a vegetarian, one guy was a carnivorous meatitarian, and to answer the question about how do you change a 4-year-old's palate, is you have to get her to try stuff 17 times. Once that palate has felt it, smelled it, tasted it, experienced it 17 times, they kind of grow bored to it, so that it doesn't shock them, it doesn't freak them out. They can handle the palate. The fastest way that we do it is using the herbs in our office, and we use these different herbs because they're so bitter in taste that when you develop that bitter palate, and when you learn to appreciate the bitter palate, the sweet, sour, salty palate are very easy to acquire. The bitter one's the tough one. And that's where your vegetables lie. So you would also cook with a lot of bacon, cook with healthy fats, get good with spices, find things and have her try different spices and make it fun. Get her involved. I'm going to try to post this video of me and my kids and some neighbor kids making chocolate gelato in the house on Friday night. I think it was Friday night or Saturday night. I can't remember now. But but we made a frozen chocolate gelato with the neighbor kids, and one of the little guys never eats. He doesn't like to eat. He's kind of just not into trying anything new. Well, I got him to try the chocolate gelato, and he drank it up. He loved it. I got him to take and chew up some Thymex because Dash was doing it, and my son, and so get your kids involved. It's so easy. I'm gonna throw this last thing out there. It's so easy just to kick the kids out of the kitchen and say, I'll handle it, because 1, it'll be less messy. 2, it'll be faster. Well, but what does that teach the kid? That you're going to take care of it. You're not teaching a man to fish. You're not teaching them how to get comfortable with the kitchen and to be, comfortable in that space. So my 7-year-old, her and her friend had a sleepover a week back, and they made eggs by themselves. Mommy was sleeping. I was gone. And we have a gas stove. So, that's fire, right?
Yeah, fire.
And my 7-year-old and her friend make eggs. And when I came home, she goes, Daddy, I made eggs this morning, and it was awesome. And guess what? Mommy didn't even help. She didn't even know. She was asleep. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And the house is still standing. This is even better. So, and then last night I come home, and that little girl she cooked cookies for all the kids in her class today. Gluten-free, dairy-free, of course. And she was so thrilled because we're letting her make messes. I mean, they weren't the prettiest cookies. They weren't in the perfect little dollop, and they didn't spread exactly perfect, but they were her cookies, and they were awesome. To watch her to go through that process. So we get all of our kids involved in making shakes and getting them involved in. My son and I, we made a full chicken in the Instapot. But I taught him how to, pull the skin up and put the oils and the spices between the skin and the meat. And we got our hands dirty, and so obviously we had to wash our hands, make sure we don't have any salmonella. So I got to teach him about, sanitary measures on how to, do the chicken, how to put him in. And then guess who was the first in line to want to eat his own chicken that he made?
Him.
My son. He wanted to
Dash.
Participate in the eating of the meal that he took part in.
For sure, yeah.
Somebody said you could eat whatever you want on a diet as long as you cook it yourself, right?
Is that a different kind of diet? What diet is that? The Curt diet?
The Curt diet.
Well, I mean, again,
because you know what you're putting in.
You could still be consuming dairy products and that be inflaming you. So I don't know. I don't want to say that it's as simple as a blanket statement, but I think what you're saying is you're going to eat better quality food at home if you're mindful of the spices you're using, the oils you're using. If you're using some of these principles that I'm teaching, and not using shortening, not using canola oil, not using these, poorly processed vegetable oils. When you use, coconut oil, when you use avocado oil, when you use olive oil, as duck fat, bacon grease, when you're using these things as tools, those kinds of fats are very stable at high temp, so they won't acidify and they won't burn up and denature, and they won't be inflammatory to you. And if you're using these fats in your own cooking disposal, the fats also bring a really nice, robust flavor that kids oftentimes do like. Kids want actually fats in their diet because it makes them feel full faster and it balances their blood sugar, and that's why kids can. If we give them good nutrients, their body will perform very well. I had a guy come in yesterday, and this is, just a testament of life's challenge, right? Mm-hmm. He was practicing for the, double time practice for sports tryouts. He had a lot going on with some, testing at school. And what was happening is he didn't, some of his symptoms started coming back where he was getting agitated and frustrated and short-tempered, and his ADD started kicking up. But it was because he was doing all that extra. He wasn't drinking enough water. We weren't doubling up on our activity, but we didn't double up on our mineral intake. So he lost the brakes for his brain to slow down and calm down so he could think through his day. So we just upregulated the mineral intake, and we're going to see a different change going forward. And so make sure that you're assessing what's going on in your world. How busy are you? What kind of stress level are you running? If you're running a 7 out of a 10 or 7 out of a 0 to 10 scale stress zone, 7 to 10 is intervene, get involved, like figure out how to integrate that adaptogen, Mintran, Nevaton protocol that I brought in here a few weeks ago, where when the stress levels go up, man, get after it and don't let it stay up, because that's burning off minerals and nutrients that your body's going to need to replenish, or there will be a side effect of that mineral depletion.
So there's a couple things that I want to talk about as we're running out of time. It's 9:58. We're talking to Dr. Aaron Chapa on Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11. So here's something that's going on, and maybe you can tell us, being in, the medical and health. Curt has decided that he will let someone tase him if we reach 5,000 Facebook likes by Friday.
That's awesome.
So I didn't know if there was like any reason, like, should we put him through a screening? He's not like the spitting image of health. He could be healthier, I suppose.
Maybe this would shock me into being healthy. Like maybe it might get rid of all my desire for cheese.
Hey, like, what you should do is every time he eats, touches cheese, just shock him multiple times.
I would get a taser and do that. But is there anything like, it should be okay, right? I don't know.
I mean, it's probably okay. Let's just find out. I mean,
it's the great experiment.
It's a great experiment. I'm in. So yeah, as long you got to think about it. You're not on any psychiatric medications.
Maybe you should be.
Wait, you don't know that.
Oh, that's true. You don't have a pacemaker. So as long as you don't have any, you're not on any more than 3 medications, you're probably okay.
Okay, and then the other thing, and we haven't really publicized this. This was like a goal between me and him. We've mentioned it maybe to a handful of people. Never posted it online. He said, like maybe back in the summer, if we had reached 10,000 Facebook likes by the end of the year, he would let me do a KHEA radio tattoo on his body somewhere. And so that was something we were pushing for because it was pretty unattainable. And so, yeah, I just.
Well, how close are we?
I mean, we're almost at. We're like 800 away from 5,000. So that's what we're trying to reach.
Less than 800 now. We're at 770.
But in order to pull that trigger, you got to get to 10,000.
We got to get to 10. So we need 5,000 more this month. And we average 150 to 100 to 300 likes a week.
I'm just saying. I mean, if he's going for broke like that, I mean, I bet you Facebook and YouTube and everybody will come together to see that through.
Yeah, I think maybe on the 21st we'll talk about that a lot because we're gonna have that giant show. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have 30 guests. We may go all day. I do not know. Somebody suggested we get the Guinness World Book of Records out here and see what's the longest time that an interview show has like gone on, and we just like, hey, we'll be here for like 48 hours. Like, Dr. Chapa, what's going on?
That's right.
So
we're gonna be talking about everything under the sun.
We're just about out of time. Let the people know how can they get a hold of you, who you are, and maybe why they should come see you.
So my name is Dr. Aaron Chapa, and I own Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. I have an amazing staff that cares about people. I have an amazing clinical nutritionist that is an associate of mine that loves the game that we're working on, giving people alternatives to drugs and surgery. We believe all life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition is your first medicine. We want to get you enrolled in this idea that you can take charge of your health going forward. This starting now. Don't wait till the new year. Start today and make it simple. Make it something winnable. Drink more water today. And we have a clinic in League City, Texas, and it is our website is justlivewell.com. And you can call us at 281-554-8600. We have all kinds of wonderful activities that are going on at our office. We've got our Nutrition 101 class coming, and I believe it's next week. And it's going to be Eat This, Not That. We've got all kinds of information coming out about this detox that we're going to be launching in the new year. So be a part of what we're doing and let us be a guide. We want to be your health compass, so to speak, to better health. And we believe that you can start right where you're at, no matter what kind of diagnosis you've got or a condition that you've been suffering with or dealing with. Let us help you, guide you, and direct your steps so that you can live better, be better, and stay better one bite at a time. So I just want to say thank you to KHEA Radio and Kickstart, Gardy, Curt. You guys are amazing.
And Ethan.
He was getting there. He said, Ethan, you cut him off.
I know.
I didn't want Ethan to get any credit, so we can move on.
Okay. So Ethan, I'm going to call him Eaton.
I'm eating vitamins.
I'm eating my vitamins. Ethan, we love you too, buddy.
Yeah.
One day in the near future, we're going to have a camera that's just for you. And then
intern
camera, and he'll be out.
We could have a little logo.
Let's zoom in. What's Ethan up to right now? He's like out, in knee deep water, but it's really only ankle deep.
I feel like Wayne's World camera, like Wayne's World.
Everybody would have to be super nice to Ethan because he would probably be the one deciding who's on camera, how you look, the lighting, the third. Like he would be helping with the switch. So Ethan would be like my best friend.
We need to get a camera that zooms, so then we can zoom in like on Ethan's like left pimple over his eye or something.
Ethan has flawless skin. First of all, look at that.
I see a few.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. It's 10:03. Thank you, Dr. Chapa, for hanging out with us.
Blessings to all.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna have some more guests. Have a good time. Stay tuned. We're gonna keep the fun going on Facebook. Keep it going on YouTube. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM.
Hey, we can go help find our guest, Cynthia. I think she's outside.
So they said, you saw that message, right? They said they were going to be about 5 minutes late.
Yeah, she's outside. She just texted.
What's up, folks?
That was fun, guys.
What's everybody up to?
So we have the recovery chick coming up still, and then we have the Gypsy. The Gypsy Roo band in studio as well.
Amanda said, Curt, stop being rude to Ethan. One day he's going to get your job. That is potentially true.
How will I be able to ever take
what do
you?
No, I think
this is Curt's, but you can have it.
No, he needs it more than I do.
I do need it. I need to take some more. I
Can
just
you
had
unplug
3.
it back there, big man?
Yep.
So is those some of your new kicks?
Yeah. Have you seen any of the pictures and stuff? Oh,
I saw some early on. I haven't seen any recents.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're getting manufactured right now. I still get pictures every day, and there's some more coming. And so, like, my big shipment is like
Where are you gonna sell these at? Online?
everywhere. I'm trying to literally go, yes, online, but anywhere that'll let me, like, just set up a tent. Anywhere, just like I'll just be on the street peddling shoes. I don't even care.
Can we show
what-
the
so what's-
audience on Facebook as well?
What are you gonna call these?
Well, right now I'm just because the brand's Del Tigre, and then I'm just calling them like wingtip lace ups right now. But I don't know, like, cause some
Tigre.
Del Tigre.
You should call them the Tiger Paws.
Oh, that could be like one of the models.
Yeah, I haven't named him yet, so I've just been
these
calling.
called?
Like they're just like a wingtip lace up is what I'm calling it right now. But not, I don't have like a model, like a name for it where it would be like Tiger Paw or like something. But as we go, so I do have some mock-ups of the sneakers. So we're gonna do sneakers next year, and so I'm trying to finalize the design of that, and then get my samples made, and then after that, just produce them for hopefully spring
That's awesome.
of next year, and then we have some more bags and all kinds of stuff. So I'm stoked. I'm trying to sell it anywhere.
Well, that's awesome. I was just curious. Oh, look, he's got his Del Tigres on.
Yeah, he does. Put your
Now
foot
look,
back
my
on.
socks.
Hey, when am I gonna get a
Put your foot back on the floor.
What, you gotta see. You have to. I want you to look at, me, and I want you to see like what would Del Tigre would.
Which one would be good for you?
Which one would be one I need?
I think the ones you would need are these the wingtips. Yeah.
All right, Dan, y'all are great.
Bye, Dr.
Hey,
Chapa.
you know what Molly said? Del Tigre sounds like tea, and you know what? That's funny because I did look into doing Del Tigre tea. I'm still looking into it. Well, I've looked at there's some places in Canada where you can like you manufacture and they'll work with you to get your own. So I was like Del Tea, and I was gonna call. And here's the thing, I do not like tea at all, and I was like that would be awesome. And like out of everything that I like, if that was like the one thing that people like the tea, and I'm like, I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, I love tea, I just don't drink it. Ooh, I like her sweater. Y'all need to stay tuned because y'all are gonna love this sweater too. I can see
Yeah.
Kurt wearing one of these.
I might steal it from her.
Hey,
But
so
can I
on
have that?
Saturday, here's what we have going on. Okay, first of all, today everybody is invited to come with us to Luna's. What it is okay, 11:30, 12 o'clock. There's a lunch. We're gonna have lunch there, so you can come have some Mexican food. We're gonna be there. So it is actually an event that is for like entrepreneurs, and it's like a ladies entrepreneur thing, but we're going to be there. We're inviting guys to come too. I think my daughter's going to be there. She's one. So it's just a normal restaurant. So it's a place for people to talk and just, I guess, get to know each other. And so these are the kind of things that I've been doing like as Del Tigre. And these are the kind of things we've been doing as the radio station, like all year, like just going out and meeting people at events and saying, hey, we're KHEA. They're like, I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, you can bring her in. And then after, there's going to be like a vendor market at the restaurant from like 4 to 8. And so we're playing like musical doors over here.
Yeah, they only enter in that door. Come on, Ethan.
Like, hi,
Yeah, sorry. My name's Gardy.
Gardy,
Yes.
Cynthia.
Cynthia,
Good
nice
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you.
Kurt.
Hi, Kurt.
I
How
did-
are you?
Nice to meet
I
you.
commented on your sweater,
sweater,
out
yeah.
there. So can you all see this? Santa.
Santa.
Santa baby. I was watching earlier and I saw his hat, so I was like, "Hey, I got to put on my Christmas
I
sweater."
love it. Cynthia.
I've been
Yeah.
good. Question
Kurt?
mark? It says exclamation point, but I want to change it to a question mark. So she's on until 10:30, and then we
Awesome.
have the next
Okay,
guest.
so right after this song, we'll get into it. And you can
Okay,
move this
cool.
mic to where it's comfortable for you.
All right.
And, yeah, you can just talk about right there, and that's perfect.
Ethan, did you tell her everything? How did Ethan do out there?
Ethan did really well.
Ethan's
yeah,
awesome,
he's
isn't
yes.
Ethan, you got her to share it. That's all I
I
ask.
shared it on 2 pages, personal and
Double!
recovery chick.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're double hired today. You might get paid eventually.
keep coming back, man.
Yeah.
That's
So
what they
Cynthia,
say.
tell us what it's Recovery Chick. Is that what it's
Mhm.
called? So what is Recovery Chick? And then when we get on the FM, we'll keep it going as well.
Okay, yeah. So Recovery Chick is a ministry, recovery ministry, faith-based, obviously.
Yes.
And it started out kind of as a online community, and now we are opening a home. We have faith-based recovery meetings. It's been my
When you say recovery, like for like alcohol, drugs, and stuff like that, or
Mhm.
is there other stuff as well?
other stuff as well. Any hurt, habit, anything that keeps people from living below all God has for their lives. Really,
Mhm.
it could be anything.
That's okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so where are you based?
In Galveston.
Based out of Galveston.
Yeah.
And it being faith-based, is there like a church or someone that y'all are associated with, or is something that you started yourself?
Yeah, I started it myself too, but we attend Valiant Church.
Okay, yeah, I know Valiant.
Yeah.
Is it y'all had was it the Easter, where was the Easter service?
At Macio's.
At Macio's. That's
Yeah.
right. I was
Were
making
you
sure
out
I was gonna let you say it, so I didn't like think
Macio's.
get the wrong church. I was like, but I'm pretty sure it was Valiant Church was at Macio's. We have Concetta on Thursday, and we're gonna talk with
love
Galveston Galveston Tourism on Thursday as well. So that's gonna be a fun
Nice.
show.
Yeah.
So we got 25 seconds, and then we're gonna go on the FM and keep talking about everything you have
Okay.
going on.
Perfect. Good.
It's opening up soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Monday.
10th, right?
Yes, Monday I have my first recovery chick moving in.
Very cool.
Yeah.
8 seconds.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Right now it is 10:11. We have Cynthia in studio. Cynthia, how are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
I am too. My name is Gardy. This
And
is
I'm Curt.
Kickstart, and we have my friend Curt here, who's been kind of silent all morning,
I have not. I've been very engaging.
except whenever you brought up cheese, and then it kind of he got in there. But we have Cynthia. I am excited for you to be here to talk about everything that you have going on. First of all, where are you from?
I am from Dallas, originally from Oregon, but lived in Dallas for a while. Moved to Houston a couple years ago, came to Galveston.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And since you've been down in Galveston, it seems like I guess you would have been busy. You've been busy getting stuff started and let people know. So you have an organization starting. Tell us what you have going on.
So Recovery Chick is my ministry. Started 2015 after there was a change in job. I was a chaplain at the Harris County Jail for several years, downtown Houston. And the contract ended there. And so I was like, well, I think I'm going to start my own ministry in recovery. I love recovery. I've always been in recovery for the past 18 years. Anytime I'm in church, I'm doing recovery ministry. So a couple of years ago, we moved to the island. We went tiny, sold everything, and got a 400 square foot trailer and moved to the island.
That's awesome. That's ever since just island living. And how has Galveston been different, I guess, than living in Oregon and Houston? And how has it been making that transition?
Well, we love it. So, it's just a lot chill. We wanted a lot less in life, less stress, less drama, less, bills, less pressure. And so we moved out here really just to relax and chill and kind of regroup. We've been in the ministry for a long time. And so we found a great little island church that we loved. We started attending there, made some friends, and just love the community. Love the small town feel community of Galveston.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
Recovery
awesome.
Chick, first of all, tell me about the name. It seems like it stands out for sure. Recovery Chick. Can you share about that?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of just my, I'm not very traditional by any means. And as I was looking at recovery, I've always been a recovery pastor. And I say that and people are like, what's a recovery pastor? And then when I share, I get an opportunity to speak at churches or in prisons or jail. I'm really just practical, rubber meets the road. And so I just, get after recovery and just, I thought just chick was a edgy vibe that people would remember.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm guessing, do y'all only, and you specialize ministering to women only, or is it guys as well that can possibly attend or?
Right. So we do have men that attend.
Yeah.
So my ministry is just called Recovery Chick, but we have meetings that are open to men and women, and it's just
And what drew you to becoming a recovery pastor? Like, what is the wheels that turned into this is what I'm supposed to do with my life?
Yeah, well, 18 years ago, I was dying in drug addicted sin. I was lost. I wanted out, but I didn't know how to get out. And God radically saved me while I was in a jail cell. And, I was 29 years old. I'd never really went to church. And I picked up a book. It was somebody's testimony. Mm-hmm. And I picked it up, just lost, a dope fiend. And I set it down, a hope fiend.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was amazing. What the courts couldn't do, what, my family's love couldn't do, what my best efforts couldn't do, what drug treatment couldn't do, God did while I was locked up in an 8x10 cell. So
how did you get from the jail cell, to becoming a chaplain in Houston?
Yeah, well, you know what? The key was I got out and I got it plugged into a church, a healthy, vibrant church that saw me. They saw the potential in my life, got me plugged in, started interning like Ethan over here.
Doing a great job.
And,
Until you saw his pun over here. I don't know if you give him that compliment again.
What?
He said, I think I may need help recovering from my pun addiction. It's quite pun fortunate.
Oh my goodness.
He's very funny. I love you.
Yes. Well, we have some place for you.
Red. Look at Ethan.
He is red.
Oh, did we embarrass you? Oh.
Yeah. So I got plugged into a church, and I had never stepped foot into church, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but they were so gracious, and they had classes. They had a school, much like you guys have here, as I understand. So I got plugged in there, and I started out as the church receptionist, and then just went from there.
So can you tell us why this is important then for the Galveston County area?
Oh my goodness. There's a lot of recovery, while they're in programs like in prison, like in jail, or even in prison. There's tons of re-entry opportunities, tons of initiatives for that. We have some great organizations, Gulf Coast, and just some other organizations. Well, that's great. But as soon as they graduate and they're get out, released to the streets, guess what? Recidivism. They go right back to the old people, places, and things. And we want to change that and offer them safe, healthy housing and disciple them in how to live a victorious life in Christ.
Okay. Can we go back to, you said you were in jail, locked in a cell. You picked up a book. It was somebody's testimony, pretty much set you on a path to change your life forever. So after you were in that moment, was there like you were a chaplain? Was there a chaplain there? Was there other people? Like I recently heard something the other day where there's almost something called like faith-based cells, or like people that you can like talk to. And then tell me about you being in there trying to live, for God.
Right. Yeah.
And learn.
So in Oregon, they didn't have much of anything, but they did have the traditional, program, fellowships, AA, NA, that type of thing. So I did go to those, and we just had Bible studies in there with the inmates. But there are units called with God pods, faith-based dorms, initiatives. So it's really neat. Yeah. So I just I got a life recovery Bible. That's really, I got a Bible into my hands that I could read and understand. And that's what I use in my ministry even now. We have weekly meetings where we open up the recovery Bible, and people are like, oh my gosh, I can understand a Bible.
Yeah. If
we can understand it, we can, let it transform our minds.
Is it sometimes easier whenever you make that decision, you know what, I'm going to be a Christian, like, wow, this is a different way of life. Is it easier to live, for God whenever you're locked away, and then you come out and like you said, hey, I got introduced to the people that I used to be with. There's all the distractions, I have a cell phone, I have, TV. Is it easier almost in there than it is out whenever you're first trying to figure everything out? Or how
100%. Absolutely. And my goal is to teach people how to live in the free world without drugs in their body. How do you do that? Because you have so much more opportunity. There's a bar in every corner, and there's, a phone in your hand, and with all kinds of, media coming at you left and right. And, so that's where this housing, the discipleship opportunity is going to really help people. So we're opening up a home called Judy's House on the island. It has 7 beds for women who are graduating either treatment or coming out of prison, on parole or whatever, because when they do get in the free world and you hit that back gate, oftentimes they drop the Bible in the trash can on the way out, and there's that jailhouse religion, right? Because it's kind of like a crutch. Well, they're not. Everybody has jailhouse religion. I mean, there are some radical transformations and salvations in there. But if we can help them with the practical things of how to make a living without getting their hustle on, how to become a productive member of society. And it's not really that hard. It's just, showing them the way. They might not have ever had an opportunity for some practical job training, or you don't have to get into a job, like maybe hospitality here, especially on the island, where you're having to serve drinks and, all that stuff kind of, is like, why can't everybody else drink, but I can't? Why can, everybody else seems to be having a fine time.
Yeah. Can you tell me about the name Judy's House?
Yeah. So Judy's House is named after my late mom. She died about a year ago. And she was that one who took me to treatment. She's just looking at me, Cynthia, just stay.
Yeah.
Just stay, And,
Right.
She always believed in me. She adopted me and my sister when we were one, poured into my life. And so this is an honor and legacy to her and those moms and the family members out there who have somebody lost in addiction or some other kind of life controlling. That's not them while they're bound up like that. It's really not. There's sin that's controlling their lives. And I'm just want to let them know. And I share my story openly and boldly because people do recover. The gospel of Jesus Christ is setting the captive free. And sometimes we just get discouraged, especially parents or loved ones or family members who are seeing their loved ones just going through it. Well, I'm here to let your listeners know and the community know, listen, people recover and the power of God will set them free. Just keep praying and get them connected with us.
Awesome. So if somebody is looking to get connected to you, to Recovery Chick, how do they do that? Like, what's the best way?
Yeah, they can go to recoverychick.com. We have some information on there about the house and the home. I will have an application. They can just message me there and I'll send them an application if they do have somebody that would benefit from there's a link right on the front page. And if they have somebody that, might be a good fit for the program, I'd be happy to talk to anybody. And even if they're not, honestly, Gage, because if somebody just wants somebody to talk to about their loved one, listen, call me. I am seriously open to talking to anybody about helping people get out.
Yeah.
Get out and stay out. That's the thing. Stay stops.
Yeah. And especially like you had mentioned, like talking about loved ones. So if you have somebody who's maybe looking to recover, or they just got out of jail, or they're looking to, become an active, a member of society again, like what does that look like?
Right.
And maybe they're not willing to talk to somebody, but you as a parent, you as a sibling, can like, hey, how do I communicate with somebody? I feel like that's a big thing. Absolutely.
And, we can pray for them, come into agreement and pray for them. On my website, I have my written testimony, and there's probably 10,000 of them in prisons and jails everywhere, where print that out and send it to them. Listen, my family didn't know what to do. I wasn't listening to anybody. I was so hard and hurt and just really a mess. And I read a book. It was somebody's testimony. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. I can't even tell you what scriptures, but I saw somebody that was like me that got out of the game. And so sometimes if we can just get a little story, a little testimony into their hands, and it's written in such a way where they're like, what? This chick was crazy. Right?
Yes.
And they'll start reading it and they won't put it down, and they'll start passing it around their pod. And I have just seen it time and time again of people radically getting saved just by somebody willing to share their story.
How did you get your hands on that copy of that book? Somebody just passed it to you?
I don't know, but I thank God for the church world and whoever paid for those books to get into that cell.
Did you pass the book to somebody else?
Oh, I did. I was slipping it on people's bunks, and I was like a little evangelist, and I was saved about 10 minutes,
Yes.
So, and honestly, I didn't know if I was going to make it, because I'd never lived in the free world without drugs in my body. I had never had a job. I was nearly 30 years old. I mean, I had, a job for a day or two.
Right.
I had no idea, but I got out into a church. They took me through their little leadership classes. That's all it is. Sunday school classes. This is a Bible. This is how you read it. This is how you live according to God's word. Practical, basic. And I was like, I'm going to start applying this. And I applied it.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things you were talking about, like when somebody gets out, there is this, a thing like in America, it's like church culture, and if you haven't been in church, you don't know, like, what's going on. And so having these, people like you and saying like, hey, this is a Bible, because some people don't know. And to me, like, I grew up very young and I knew I love my mom and my dad, and they dragged me to church all the time and put me in Christian school. And, not everybody had that
love. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
and
not everybody.
so it's good that, what you're doing is awesome. And we love to hear about this. So is there any like stories that you have other than your own, which is awesome, by the way? We're getting some feedback. Someone said, I love her story. This is the best guest yet. So
well, thank you for that. Amen.
That's really cool.
Amen.
Is there anybody else, like, so you already have one person that is going to be like the first member of Judy's house, and you have room for more.
I have room for more. So I interviewed 2 people yesterday, and they really seem like good fits. So I think we're going to have, we have 3 people right now.
Awesome.
In the beds. I know.
What's the goal? What's the end goal?
Okay. So the end goal is to disciple them in Christ, where they can live victoriously in the free world without drugs in their body.
How many can you house in that house?
7.
So you're almost
I figured that was a good godly
halfway
number.
there, right?
Halfway there. It's wonderful. I unpacked the beds, did the mattresses today.
Yeah. What does it take for you to run? Like, as far as like, what kind of like costs are you looking at, and how are you looking to get that to be able to do what you do?
So here's the beauty of Judy's house, Galveston, is it's privately funded. So it's completely 100% faith-based. Yeah. So we're able to freely talk, use the word and that type of thing. So privately funded by private donors, fundraising events. There are, Facebook page donations, and as well as on the website. I'm developing, sponsorship programs for these women that are coming out of treatment because they don't have, a bank account yet.
Right. A
lot of them don't have family support. So we're working in a sponsorship where they have to take ownership of it. I don't want them to come in and say, oh, I owe this, I owe the first month's rent, to have all this debt over their head. I want to teach them how to have healthy boundaries with money and finances too. But I'm really relying on community support, which the community has been absolutely phenomenal in helping us get the doors open to this place. I mean, it's expensive,
right?
Just all the basics of it, but it's not going to stop once we get the women in there, because every single month we're going to have an overhead. So be watching recoverychick.com or our Recovery Chick Facebook page for opportunities where we connect with the community. We're having a big open house the first week of January, ribbon cutting, the whole thing.
That's cool. Yeah.
Anybody interested, message me. I sure would love to talk with anybody who would want to be a part of this.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. As you were talking and asking that question, like what we can do as KHEA Radio to help you. And I guess that would be probably, with your events, like the ribbon cuttings, and anytime you're raising funds, like us to put like, hey, this is going on, go check it out. This is a good,
huge. Absolutely. That would be huge. And my ministry partner, as a matter of fact, she attends here at Abundant Life, loves Abundant Life. And so, she, this is home for her. So
cool.
It's really neat that we're here. That's,
Yeah, your sweater, where'd you get it? It says Santa baby, if you're listening on the FM.
Let me give some props out to where I got this sweater at. Can you see this thing? This is fun.
We can
I have
see
a
it.
Christmas party after this, but
I love it.
There's just Santa sweaters all over the place. I just saw one rock by.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Style and Company at Galveston on the Strand. We had the art walk the other night, so I was walking through there, and Style and Company is a great locally owned store, and she has the cutest clothes. So
you'll have to tell her that she needs to come on our show.
Oh my gosh, I will. She's wonderful, Catherine. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just about out of time.
Okay.
But again, let people know how they can find you, find your ministry and your website, the best way to get a hold of you, and if they want to help out, how can they do that?
Wonderful. Okay, so recoverychick.com. I have my story on there. You can print that out, send it in to any loved one who might be, have undivided attention, locked up in a jail cell somewhere. It's a great opportunity to introduce them to the Lord. We have a gift registry on our Facebook page. Right on the front page, it says Judy's House. You can click the link. I say I'm opening Monday. We have upstairs done. Downstairs, House Mom is completely undone. We have the floor opened up today. So there are lots of opportunities for people to click on that gift registry, help furnish the group room down there. If you want to drive by, you can message me. I will meet you over there. Be happy to give you a walkthrough. Yeah.
Very cool. I wish we had more time. But would you be open to coming back if we scheduled you back to talk about what you have going on and everything?
Absolutely. I'd love it. I thank you guys so much for having me on so quickly. This is great what you're doing here.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
good luck on the 10th.
Yeah,
sure,
thank
starting.
you. Yes,
It'll be
yes.
awesome.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Okay, this is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up next is United. Touch the Sky. Stay tuned.
Hey, Facebook, make sure you stick around because we do have one more guest. We got Gypsy Rue
Nice to meet you.
Band.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you
you
so much.
too.
And I
Thank you
do
so
wish
much.
I wish we had more time.
I know.
Next time we can do an hour for sure.
All right,
So, yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much. It's exciting. It was neat. My friend, her name's Lynn. Her and Tom go to church here. I don't know if you guys
Beardsley?
know. Yeah.
Mhm.
So she was watching you guys one day, and we share an office. And I looked. I was like, "What are they doing? What are they up to?"
That's cool. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, we know them for sure. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, you guys. Well, I'm getting out of here. We have a Christmas party.
Okie doke.
Thank you.
Tell everybody at the Christmas party to like KHEA.
I will. Oh, I'm gonna blow it up on my page too.
Awesome.
There you go.
Okay,
Thank
you
you.
guys are awesome. God bless you.
What's up, folks? Tyler said, "Atta girl, Cynthia. She's awesome, man. I wish we had more time. Next time, whenever we'll bring her on, we'll make sure we get an hour. She has an awesome story. I feel like we could have dove 10 times deeper into that story and everything that happened. Here's something. So on Sunday night, yeah, it's okay. Sunday night, I listened to another radio station where my friend was on. Kurt's like looking in shock, and I can see him. And he was sharing about him being in jail and his testimony and all that stuff. So it was really interesting to hear it and see. Hello.
Hey,
How are you doing? I'm awesome. My name's Gardy.
I'm Sonia Atkins. I'm
Sonia.
with the Gypsy Row Band.
All right.
How
Nice
are
to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet y'all.
So we're streaming live right now. Facebook, YouTube. I'm sure Ethan did awesome. Isn't he great?
He's awesome. He
I
did a
love
great
Ethan.
job. Yeah, great job on giving me all the details, man.
One day he's gonna take Kurt's job as his intern when Kurt gets promoted to. Well, if you got promoted to director
Director of Operations. That's the way
of toilet
that
cleaning.
that's how like when you retire, like Bill Snyder did at Kansas State, he's
Sure.
upgraded to
The
Director of Operations. So
You're
I
just
feel
on the
like
payroll.
you're just on the payroll, but you don't really have a job.
Hashtag goals, man.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So Sonia, we have Sonia in studio, and we're going to be talking about it's the Gypsy Row Band.
Gypsy Row Band. Yes, we are actually going to be heading up a concert this Saturday that's a benefit for the nonprofit organization for the Community Food Bank of Alvin. It's the Alvin Food Pantry.
Cool.
So it's actually our first time ever doing this type of event. It's going to be a holiday market and Christmas concert. The market starts at 12, so we'll have vendors. So it's a family-friendly activity, so you can bring everybody
It
out.
starts at 12.
It starts at 12, and the concert starts at 3. And we have 3 featured entertainers from the area that are all singer-songwriters,
Mhm.
original music. Yes, we have Chris
Awesome.
Hardy.
Okay.
We have Cheryl Cadwood Bobbitt, and we also have the Gypsy Row Band. So-
Gypsy Row Band.
Yes, sir.
That's cool. And you're in the band?
I am. I'm
Would-
the lead vocalist. Yes,
Awesome.
sir. Yeah, we are really excited. We've been a music project for a little over a year, and we've been very blessed with the platforms that have been given to us to be
Mhm.
able to, bring some awareness. We've recently been involved in doing some awareness for human trafficking here in the Houston area, as well as, of course, bringing awareness to hunger.
Yes.
And, just really God spoke to me back in June through I lost my job, and I really wanted to be able to give back, because I think that when those types of things happen, that's the time where if we need to have a need met, we really need to look at, giving back.
We're going to go on FM right now. We're going to introduce you and do it all over.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
All right.
Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Kurt.
And we got intern Ethan in here doing an awesome job. Ethan, you're the best. I appreciate you and what you do today.
You're almost better than me.
You know, at some things he is, at some things he's working his way up to it. So one day he'll
One
be.
day you will.
But you're doing great right now.
Hashtag goals.
So we have a guest in studio. We have Sonia Atkins, and she is hanging out with us right now. We're going to be talking about everything she has going on. We've already chatted for like, I'm going to say about 2 minutes, and we learned a whole lot of information. There's a lot going on right now, and I'm excited to hear it. Share it with everybody listening on 99.5 FM. Sonia, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all doing?
Good.
You have the voice of a person like a country singer. Has people said that to you before?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's definitely where my roots are. You know, especially in music. Go figure. This accent, I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. But all the places that I've lived in my life, it's followed me around wherever I go. But I am a true Texan, so you know, just
I like it.
well, good. I'm glad you like it. Maybe you'll like our music too.
You're the singer, right?
Yes, I am. I am a singer-songwriter, but my band is comprised of several, you know, very talented musicians. I have a Nashville songwriter. I have a very talented guitarist, drummer. And the cool thing about my band is even though we all come from a different walk of life with our music, the one thing we have in common is that we have all served in the music ministry.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. So how long have you been doing music personally?
Since I was 2 years old.
So your whole life?
My whole life.
Singing,
As
right?
soon as I could form a sentence, my daddy had me singing.
Do you need like a band behind you to sing, or can we get like an example now of that awesome voice?
Sure. Let's see. What would you like for me to sing? Maybe Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
or something
Oh,
like that?
yes.
Okay. So, well, let's see. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa Claus is on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna try to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase for kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. That was awesome.
That was great.
You know
Wasn't
what?
quite sure how long you wanted there, so.
No, that's perfect. You know, and for Kurt to put you on the spot like that and you to step up and just be like, you know what, take this. Yeah, I don't like her. You should have asked beforehand or something. And that's what you.
Cool.
I
actually have sang for the Houston Astros for the last 3 years, so in
You're
front of
easy.
like 40,000+ people, and
There
Yeah.
are 40,000 people watching right now, so
This
it's
is
about the
awesome.
same, right?
hey, this is great, you guys. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what's the name of your band? How long have y'all been playing? And where can we see you next?
Oh, great. Well, our band name is Gypsy Row. Row is French Creole. It actually means real. So when we comprised this music project, that's exactly what we wanted to do, was just really keep things real and true to who we are. So we play various styles of music, but of course, you know, a lot of the root of what we play is going to be based on that country sound, that was detected earlier in my accent, but but we have been together for a little over a year. We debuted as a music project, and within 2 months of our debut, we actually received an honorable mention for the Support Local Music Houston Awards as the best new band are coming on board. Actually, this year we have been nominated in 4 different categories. Best vocalist, myself, my guitarist, Matthew Gallegos, has been nominated for Best Guitarist, Best Band, and also Best Country Band. So you can go on to slm.buzz and, vote. So if I can plug that in, that'd be great. But we have been very busy with what we're doing. As far as where we can play next is going to be this Saturday at the Alvin Food Pantry Holiday Market and Christmas Concert. The holiday market, which will be comprised of various vendors, and it is a family event that's free to come to. It'll be from 12 to 5. The concert will be at 3, and that will last from 3 to 5. And it will be comprised of 3 different artists, including Gypsy Rowe, but also Chris Hardy and Cheryl Cadwood Bobbitt, who are also singer-songwriters in the local area.
I've heard of, I think I've heard of the second one. Say it one more time.
Cheryl Cadwood Bobbitt.
How do we know who that is?
I'm not sure. You've maybe seen a flyer for something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Cheryl primarily plays down in the Galveston area, but she is a local gal and really great, talented musician. So y'all come on out, be able to hear what we do.
Cool.
So.
I think now that I see this, so with your band, it's being new, were any of the members, and I'm guessing, were they a part of another local band that was like a country band?
Yes.
Was it Southbound 45, or did I make that up? Okay, because that's where I've seen that before, because I have seen photos of the band. I was like, hey, I know they used to be in a band, which I don't think they're a band anymore.
No.
But, okay. Very cool.
So Matthew Gallegos and Travis Acree are 2 of the musicians. Travis is my drummer, and Matt, of course, is the guitarist. And they both were in that music project before, but they've been in other music projects as well. So yes, that is one of the more, I guess, known bands from the last several years.
Do you just know every band ever in this area, Gardy?
Yes.
It's so weird when we bring people in. I'm like,
I know everybody.
I think you actually know the guy who runs sound for us sometimes as well, Derek Land.
Yeah, I know Derek really well.
Yeah, Derek actually played with us for a while too before he moved away. So he's going to be coming down here on Saturday too. So you should come by and check it out. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. So that event, tell us one more time, where is it at?
It is at the Alvin Church of Christ, which is on 1212 South Durant in Alvin. And this is to benefit the nonprofit organization, the Alvin Food Pantry, which feeds over 3,000 people a month for the Alvin ISD School District.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was started by one person in 1980 in a very small Sunday school classroom. It has since moved into a larger building there on the church grounds, but it is solely ran by volunteers, and everything is based on donations. So this benefit that Gypsy Rowe decided to help take the lead on is really just for that. It's about giving back to the community that so well has given to us and allowed us to have a platform to do what it is that we love to do.
That was going to be my next question. I was like, why is it so important? Like, where does that come, to give back? Because I've noticed a couple of things that you said, like, we're playing this and this is what it's for. We're playing this, and like giving back is important.
Yes.
And it's giving back. Not like it's giving back, and this is important to give back to other people, but this is to ourselves, and that's good as well.
I don't ever want to forget the people that have been there for me in my life that allow me to be able to do the things that I love to do. I really believe that God works everything for his benefit and for his glory, and he's definitely been there for me. Life hasn't always been easy for me. I was a single mom when I first moved here to the Alvin. Well, I moved to Alvin in 2009. I started a new life. It was just me, my son. I did have some family here, but the director who is the now director, Jackie Dan Nipples, she is also the founder's daughter. She was just so accepting of me and so helpful in helping me to find a place, and I did some things for their church, some music projects and things like that. So I don't like to forget about people who've been there for me, and really want to help them out. And I really, this project is near and dear to my heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So being a new band, because a year, that's just enough time where you're starting to gel, write songs, and it's a good thing. But like, what is next as far as like goals for the band? Like recording new albums, tour, what's next?
No, what's next is we are getting ready to go into studio to cut our first CD. And then we are already in the talks with the director up in Northeast Texas, which from my hometown of Harleton, to produce our first video. So I'm really excited about that. Right now, that's kind of the direction where I'm wanting to take our music project. We've had some great opportunities this past year, opening for Texas Country Music Hall of Fame artists, opening for national artists. Of course, myself getting to be a part of the Houston Astros for the last 3 years. So, where we're wanting to take this is just a little bit different than I think that standard of just playing every single weekend kind of thing. I'm interested in what we do helps to make a difference, whether it's just entertaining people, but if there's something like what we're doing this weekend can definitely help, then those are the things and the directions that I want to take it. And of course, my goal is to get us into some larger festivals this year, and just really move towards that direction. Keep writing. That's really important as a singer-songwriter, to keep writing those originals, because that's how I tell a story.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to tell a story.
Country music, most of the time it tells a story. And I look at people like Willie Nelson, who just has a way like telling that story that gets you like invested into it. And he's Willie Nelson,
Exactly.
And so it's writing a song is not the easy. It can be if you throw something together, but writing a song that's going to like connect with somebody and have them be like, that's my song.
So we do have some stuff out there in the digi world. One of our more famous ones right now, so to say, quote unquote famous, would be Ferguson Road, which is actually a true story that tells about my family and the 7 generations going back on the road that I grew up in my hometown. So you can go out there and download it from any digital platform.
Awesome.
It's Ferguson Road by Gypsy Rowe, but definitely going into studio this year is a huge goal that I have, so that we can get that out, because we have the other stuff. Now, this Saturday, we're going to be debuting our newest original, which to me is a personal favorite, because it was something that was inspired by I was inspired by my experience, with this one particular person. And then for me, it's really developed into something that's become spiritual. So you asked me, what are some of the things that our music project is looking for? Well, one of the things that we've tapped into, that we've discovered just because of our common background, is worship music. And I'll be honest with you, it's something we're praying about, and we're looking at maybe running that as a parallel project.
That'd be cool.
Well. Yeah.
Do you have any advice that you would give to somebody? So I look over to my left, and Ethan has a good voice, and sometimes I'll hear him sing, and he's like, people keep telling me I should do that. And then Curt, he sang a lot growing up, and he's recently got away from it. And sometimes you just need like a little shove, or like, I know there's people out there listening. Maybe they're like, I've always wanted to learn to play an instrument or sing, or it's been something like, do you have any advice for somebody starting out, or maybe like, hey, I'm going to knock the rust off? Is that something you recommend for people to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I think first and foremost, you have to be true to who you are. I do believe that everybody has a talent. God gives them a talent. And I think that in order to be true to who you are, you have to utilize that talent. Don't let the world not be a part of that, because there's a lot of great things that can come from utilizing that talent. It provides a platform. Like today, I think is a great example of that. Had I not been a part of this music project, I wouldn't be here today to be able to talk about something that's for the greater good and serving the community. But going back to advice, I think that it's important for people to follow their goals, to follow, have a dream and make it happen. It doesn't matter how old, how young that you are, but you have to be true to who you are. And as far as what you can do to, maybe knock off the rest or to get some great advice, ask other fellow musicians. Don't be afraid to go and get advice. Advice is free. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to take it.
Right.
But, definitely take a look at that. If you think that you would like to write a song, but you've never done it before, the first step is picking up that pen and putting it to paper. Nothing says, I always use an eraser because, sometimes I go back and erase a lot. But, draw from your inspiration. What inspires you? And go from there. I don't think that there's any right or wrong way to do that. I'm very fortunate that in our music project that I have a person who's very well versed in writing the scores and, writing the music. And he's been very helpful to me, and I really lean on him a lot. And so, yeah, I think that you have to be able to do that too. But if you have a good voice, don't be selfish. Share it with the rest of us,
Right, Ethan?
Wait,
exactly.
she was talking to me.
I was talking to both of you.
Oh.
I was talking to Ethan for the most part. Some of us need to knock the rust. I think, and here's some advice that I would give.
Oh.
So if you are looking at maybe, writing songs and doing something, one of the best places I feel like you can go is to a church, because there are musicians there. They're looking to get more. They'll probably, that's where I learned to play music from church and being a kid, and people took the time to show me, and then you get somewhere to practice multiple times every week.
I agree with that. That's, since I've been in music since I was the age of 2, that's where music started for me though, was in church. So music to me is a very spiritual aspect of my life. And it is the one way for me that I can solely and wholly connect with God. So when I am in that realm, when I'm in that world, whether I'm writing music or whether I'm, performing or just whatever it is, if it's just me, in the house and I'm just singing, it is the one way that I myself personally connect. I believe that that's the way God created for me to be able to do that. But you're absolutely right. I believe that is a great way to start, is to get there. Music has been around for how long? A long time.
Forever,
And what I always say, listen to this, man, we have a whole book dedicated to it, right? So it's important, and it does touch the soul, and it, you never know where it can help someone to connect. So I think that starting in church is a great way to do that. Our newest single that we're going to be debuting on Saturday, honestly, I talk about some of those things as far as church goes. The word church is actually in there, because I think about the things that resonate home to me. And that is one of those. When I think about home, I think about being in church, being in the church that I grew up in.
Sounds like a great song title name there.
It is. It's actually called Like Water, but parentheses home. So
Yeah.
Do you have can you do that one without a band, or do you probably need a band for that one?
Well, I mean, yeah, I could do it without a band a little bit, but I can give you a sneak peek.
She's going to debut it at
I'm
the
gonna
event on
debut it
Saturday.
on
Well, now
Saturday.
I think we're stealing that debut right here on KHEA radio.
So we've actually introduced a different instrument into this song than what we've used before. So I'm really
Sleigh
excited.
bells?
No, we've actually introduced a steel guitar. So I'm really
That's cool.
excited about that.
So does one of the current players also play steel guitar as well?
He actually, so Matthew Gallegos actually went out and purchased a steel guitar just for this song and learned how to play it so we could do it for this song.
What's
Yes,
steel
sir.
guitar?
Steel guitar is, it's one of those, it looks like a flat guitar bass with the strings and the frets that you play.
Those are cool.
They're really cool.
Yeah, they have a
Great
really nice
sound.
sound. Yeah, it's definitely country. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's another style of I mean, I'm sure you could work it in experimentally, but once you hear it, like, it's like, that's country music
It is.
right there.
It is. And again, the whole idea with this song is to resonate what home means to me, because home can mean so much. And I think what a better way than the holidays to debut this particular single for us. So
What, Kurt?
You need to learn how to play the steel guitar, and then we could have it in church.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Steel guitar is so great, and it's not just for country music. You can do so many things with it. I mean, instruments have no limitation. We are the only ones that put limitations on the instruments.
I would put the limitation on it and be like, this is country music. That would be me. I'm doing it. Yeah. No, yeah, it's an awesome instrument. And hearing it played, whenever somebody can sit down and they're like just doing the thing, and it's like, that's what's up,
Yeah. So I would love for y'all to come out and listen to it and everything. So yeah, but we are debuting the whole entire song on Saturday.
Very cool. And can you tell me a little bit, whenever y'all write a song, like how does that go? Is it a team effort? You come up with the lyrics, people have ideas. How does it go?
It actually is a team effort. Typically, I'll come up with a concept, an idea, and I may write a few lyrics, and then I'll spend some time with my with one of the other band members who's the Nashville singer, singer songwriter, and we'll sit there and we'll actually pan through it. It's not always kicked out in one day. Sometimes it takes a series of several weeks, but once we have that foundation built with the actual song as far as lyrics and the foundation of the melody, then that's when we introduce it to the rest of the band and we let them listen to it and we let them basically write their own parts. We give them that creative freedom to do that. I think that's really important, so everybody feels like they've contributed to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that is important, to make sure that everybody brings something to the table. And it's also important. How's it go? Like if something's like too much, or be like, hey, what do you think? Like presenting it in the right way and being where you're not like, hey, take that out, but just like making sure you have a good relationship with everybody. That's important, right?
Well, first of all, you've got to keep in mind, I'm one girl with, a whole band of boys. So they're like all my brothers and they pick on me a lot. So if they don't like anything, they'll tell me real quick they don't like it. But it kind of goes vice versa. We're really nice to each other, though. I mean, I think you have to have that respect and honesty because, again, it's coming back to staying true to what you're wanting to convey in the song. What's the message that you're wanting to convey? So you have to, if there is, something that you don't like, you think it's a little bit too much, we just say that. I think that's where having the relationship built with each other, we're able to do that. And I think it's really important to have that. So it's so much more than just a working relationship. It's really, we're like a little family. It's we're friends, we're good friends. We've all known each other for quite a while now. So being able to have that type of creative freedom first and then honesty about it is really important.
Yeah. Curt, what do you think? You think, you would have what it takes to maybe learn the steel guitar and play in Gypsy Room? Ethan says yes.
I have an acoustic guitar.
Hey, I'm always looking for
I
someone
haven't
to play
played
rhythm.
it in 3 months, but I have an acoustic guitar.
We're always looking for someone to play rhythm for us, so come on.
What's rhythm?
What's rhythm?
guitar.
Well, rhythm is there you go. There you go.
Okay. Do you really not know rhythm? Like rhythm guitar? Like
You're speaking foreign language to me.
I think rhythm is almost like someone singing. I have a lot of people that have come up to me and say, oh my gosh, can you give us vocal lessons and, or how do you do that? And they'll say, I wish I could do that.
It looks like a normal guitar.
From a singing standpoint, from a vocalist standpoint, as long as you do it with heart, anything you do with heart, because that's what matters most is the heart that you do it with. If you don't put heart into it, no.
Yeah.
So that's what I always tell everybody. Sing with your heart, play with your heart. It doesn't matter, but you got to have the heart first.
That's very necessary. Because people can tell, like if you're just going through the steps and stuff and it's just like, hey, there's no heart. Or even like singing a song. Sometimes like, okay, you got to sing it with some You got to sing it with something and try and capture that, bottle it, and then people are going to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So, and that's exactly it. Darren is the gentleman who's the Nashville songwriter in our group, and he plays the keyboards and he'll play bass. He's a very talented musician. And that's exactly what, we try to do. And you were talking about how do you tell each other, hey, you don't like this, you don't like that. Again, I'll come up with a concept and I'll come up with those, the bass line of the structure of the song, but he'll tell me, hey, how about this? I think that, again, you have to look at what type of outcome you want and what it is that you need to do to get there, right? So if you want to learn how to play the steel guitar over there, I think you're just itching to do that, right?
Steel guitar better than rhythm guitar, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
I know the difference.
So if you can play the guitar, you'll be able to.
I'm great
play
at the
steel
guitar.
Yeah.
I've had one lesson, and that's all I needed. I can play Sweet Home Alabama. Dun, 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 dun,
I actually self-taught on the guitar. I won't tell you what year because then I would be, dating back just my actual age. But
2012.
Oh, you got to go back further than that.
Oh man.
So it was actually right before I had my son. But the funny thing is that I got to the point to where I could actually play rhythm fairly well, and I was pregnant, but got to where I was so large that I couldn't reach the guitar anymore. And then baby came along, and I didn't have any more time to pick it up. So it is something that I've decided now that I can pick up, but that's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
So they always, I don't know, is playing a guitar like riding a bike?
Not necessarily.
Get back on there? I got to get these fingers getting going,
Yeah, but it'll happen. There's some things you don't forget, but we're just about out of time. Again, let people know where they can find you, find your band, and where you're going to be at next.
Well, you can find our band on Facebook at the Gypsy Row page, and that's Row, REAUX. You can also find us on our Gypsy Row YouTube channel. We also have our own website at www.gypsyrow.com. We will be playing this Saturday at the Alvin Food Pantry Holiday Market and Christmas concert. The concert begins at 3 p.m. So make sure you go and check us out. You can also go out there into the digital world and download our music on any platform. Just look up Gypsy Row, and you can look up Ferguson Road.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Go check out Ferguson Road. Go check out the Alvin Food Pantry benefit this Saturday as well. It's 11 o'clock. This has been Kickstart. Love you guys. Hey, we'll see y'all later. We're going to go eat at Luna's on 96. If anybody wants to join us, we're going to be there around 12 o'clock.
Come join us.
This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Coming up next is Danny Goki.
All right, Facebook, we love you. Have a great day. Bye, YouTube. You're the best.